戦いを せる受け継ぐ愛を定めと呼ぶなら微笑む目で月の手を闇を欺いて切な音交わして刃すり抜け奴らの隙をつけ貫いた想いが未来を開く Like a burning stone 熱く Like a burning stone 血脈に刻まれた因縁に浮き上がる消えない誇りの絆握りしめて光さす我が灼熱の空へ魂がぶつかり合うため地へ悲しみに濡られた未来を救え Like a burning stone 燃やせ Like a burning star 炎先風を立ちその先へ恐れずに何もためらわず進め流れの中共鳴する運命の波紋心に闇を欺いて切な音交わして刃すり抜け奴らの隙をつけ貫いた想いが未来を開く Like a burning stone 熱く Like a burning stone 血脈に刻まれた因縁に浮き上がる消えない誇りの絆握りしめて
そして集いしスターダスト100年目の目覚めに呼ばれて男たちは向かう時の砂を越えるジャーニー鎖のよう連なる絡み合うカルマ光でかつ定めスタンダップ打ち込むのは Alright up Alright up 誇りのバレー Break you down Break you down Break you down 拳放つ聖なるビジョンスタンダ た時に日の光浴びせるのは誰だ未来残す希望流れる星のクルセイダーズかけるのは命守るべき愛と覚悟は配られ
All right, that's enough of that. I'm just enjoying the brief sliver of time during which I get to play some music during the pre-stream. Sorry, I was getting all caught up in it. Howdy, howdy. Howdy, howdy. How the fuck we doing, people? How the fuck we doing? A few things to acknowledge right off the bat. These are the rules for the DLive streams. First of all, DLive chat is a shit show. It is a hellhole full of people who are frankly undeserving of the term. And for that reason, I don't care. I don't care if you're in DLive chat. If you're in there and you're a fan of mine, you're doing it to yourself, for yourself. Okay, so have fun. The rapers come in, just spam trans rights and win. Mods in DLive chat, you are, of course, free to ban anyone you like for any reason. So go ahead. But be reasonable. Anyway, that's number one. Number two, for some of you, this site is going to lag. There is nothing I can do about that. I have cut my bitrate in half, but unfortunately, DLive does not allow any of you to adjust the quality settings on the stream. That is very unfortunate. There is nothing I can do about it. In order for me to fix that, I would have to pursue a partnership in DLive, which means I would have to stream here consistently. Do you want me to stream here on DLive consistently? Is that where you want me to be? No, I didn't think so. So during our interim here, I'm afraid we are limited in this respect, and there is nothing to be done about it. The real chat, the one chat that you can see is, of course, the site chat at vaush.gg/chat. And as you can also see, there's about an 8-second delay. This and many more, these and many more are the setbacks of DLive, but we'll live. And the reason we're here is, of course, because this website is free from the tyranny of the YouTube Content ID copyright system. Oh, baby! So first, let's read out a couple of donations. We're going to run through those, and then hopefully we'll have time to talk about something really quickly before the RNC starts at 5:30, which is in 25 minutes. Let's get started, folks. I sound like a radio announcer today, but we've got a lot to do. I've got a lot of love. Spencer Shanks, thank you very much for the $5. Comrade Logan Knox, no, I wear glasses because my eyesight is garbage. Comrade JJ, very fucking true. Been seeing a lot of anti-electoral takes lately. Shanks with the $5 worth, yet another 5. What the fuck is this? Ah, yes, the Ben Shapiro Betty Wap. Nathan Nelson with a very kind $10. Lead poisoning, BTFOs, race and IQ. Rick Nevins finds a near exact negative effect from lead poisoning corresponding to the racial disparity in Murray's work. That's a nice study that you just gave me there. I'll take a look at it. Thank you. I love taking a look at studies that confirm my priors. Decoy Tricks, thanks to the tier 1 sub. Methaldu and Thano, thank you both very much for the gifted tier 1 subs. Very uncringe, very based. Derek with $5. True, aliens are basically Antifa. Casper, thank you for the $2. And Patrick Miller with the $5. Very true, comrade. Thankfully, Republicans are allergic to fielding young candidates, so I think we'll be okay. Rivek Kalinsky with the $2. Thank you, comrade. I just bought a Tootsie Roll. Are they any good? No. Tootsie Rolls are a legendarily underwhelming candy, comrade. I'm very, very sorry. Athena, hope you enjoyed your vacation. Thanks to the tier 1 sub. Johnny Be Good with the tier 1 sub. Gordon Ramsay would hate your shirt. Haha, it's fucking raw. True. True. Very true. 747, thanks to the gifted tier 1 sub. Windleby Dazzler with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Really appreciate that, comrade. Very, very kind. The Arms Dealer with the tier 1 sub. This is the irrepressible lightness and joy of being a communist. Absolutely, comrade. Nothing even comes close to the day in and day out, just sheer delight that is part and parcel with being a communist. Sneaky Waikiki with a tier 4 sub. I had this lovely dream where I was a lowly white name. It was terrible. Oh, but you're awake now, comrade, with a beautiful golden piss yellow name at that. Thank you, comrade. I really, really appreciate that. Minus everything with the $10. Why are you wearing the same shirt? Because it's the same day as 3 hours ago. What do you mean? The towel? What? I just have a towel pinned up to block the light. What do you want? Here, I'll... There. What do you want from me? I'll get around to figuring it out. Eventually. Sneaky Waikiki, thank you for the additional gifted tier 1 sub. Lumi with the $5. Share the joy of successfully coming out as trans to my dad and getting an amazing reaction. Fuck yeah, comrade. That's awesome. Did he give you like a car or something? That'd be pretty pog. Probably not. He probably just accepted you for who you are. But that's good too. That's very good too, comrade. Nice. Rochi with the tier 1 sub, thank you. And likewise with Uzuki. Have I seen the super Karen free the minds of the sheeple from the elastic... What is this? You linked me a deleted tweet, my friend. It looks like that was too spicy. You got shit talked by Zero Books in their new video. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, with all the quotes that I provided, I have very definitively indicated that, at the very least, participation in bourgeois electoralism and voting for the lesser evil candidate were strategies actively practiced by Lenin, and probably would have been advocated for by, at the very least, Mao and Engels, and I'm also pretty confident that Marx would have adjusted his perspective given the reasons why he advocated for the things he did back in his day. Theory has to be contextualized. Deep Space, the $5. Thank you. Joe Spades with the incredibly kind $25. Support the edgeless, rounded cube Earth? Oh, I wish, comrade. Infinitely better than the globe theory. So much better. Ajax, the $10. Thank you. Really coming to understand your hate for the left more. I just got brigaded in our shit liberal says for pointing out that a public option is universal healthcare. Yep. Yeah, the online left is fucking awful. I was a lot more positive about them too, but the longer I do this, the more I sympathize with Destiny's anti-left arc. But listen, my channel is a permanent anti-left arc from the left. I'm coming at him. But it's rough. Yeah. Transhumanist Space Ancom, I plan on watching it in my off time, yeah. JBZ, yeah, very true. TTS streams do allow me to play the game more, even if they are fucking cancer. Vero Life, thank you very much for the $5. Fucking true. Curtain Fan with the $5. Will you be going over the Twitter thread with Sargon about the surf stream? Maybe. I don't know, dude. Sargon's fucking crazy. Eligor and Hot Dog Crisis, thank you both for the tier 1 sub. Comrade Nolan with the tier 2 sub. I will consider your emote recommendation, comrade. Comrade Yamada, thanks for the tier 1 sub. And we're almost done with donations, and then we'll get right to the content. Really unfortunate with the incredibly kind tier 4 sub. Thank you. Now everyone knows how incredibly huge my pleasure pumper is. Oh yeah, really unfortunate. Just a massive fucking cock. Nicely done. 18 reviewer with the $5. Socialist MMA exposed himself. What happened to being against voter shaming? Oh! Oh, what happened here, Socialist MMA? Oh, sorry, the chat, come back. What happened here, Socialist MMA? I thought we were against voter shaming. Whoa. Why the fuck you shaming all the black people who voted for Biden? Also, why are you saying that Bernie Sanders is good when the first tweet that I shit-talked you from was you saying that he sold you out and he wasn't an ally? These people are fucking crazy, dude. I swear to God, dude. Gang members. Dismantle human trafficking networks. I like that one, too. Just like, oh, okay. Nice. End sanctuary cities to restore our neighborhood and protect our families. Prohibit American companies from replacing U.S. citizens with lower-cost foreign workers. Not hear that? Not lower-cost illegal immigrants. Lower-cost foreign workers. literally preventing businesses from being able to hire people who are here on work visas. Require new immigrants to be able to support themselves financially. And now we're in the home stretch here, folks. Launch Space Force, establish permanent manned presence on the moon, and send the first manned mission to Mars. How much do you want to bet that right now, Elon Musk is soy-facing on Twitter, posting screen caps of this and talking about how he'd love to work with Donald Trump to bring this forward? Now, he's probably not actually doing that, but it seems like something that he would do. So I'll get him anyway. And then get ready for this one, folks. Get ready for this one. Build the world's greatest infrastructure system. We did it, people. We did it, people. He's gonna build the infrastructure. He's gonna build the best infrastructure. No holds barred, no two bits about it. The best infrastructure around. And I like this one. Win the race to 5G. I wonder if that makes any. I wonder if that's gotten anyone mad at him, because there are a lot of 5G conspiracy theorists around here that are Trump, Trump supporters. Stop endless wars and bring our troops home. Right, okay. Get allies to pay their fair share. Okay. Maintain and expand America's unrivaled military strength. Wait. Stop endless wars, bring our troops home. Maintain and expand unrivaled military strength. Wipe out global terrorists who threaten to harm Americans. Wait. Stop endless wars. Wipe out terrorists, expand military. We'll get back to him on this one. And then I think actually the last one is my real favorite one. Build a great cybersecurity defense system and missile defense system. Not just any cybersecurity defense system and missile defense system. A great one. Just so you know. Just so you know he means business. All right, I will now commence with the commentary. This list is fucking insane. Holy shit. It is This is like some my essay is due in first period and it's 5:30 a.m. and I'm hungover kind of shit, you know? This is half of the stuff on here is either impossible or the president doesn't have any control over it. And of the remaining half, almost everything he lists here is so purposefully vague that it means nothing. It means nothing. It's meaningless. It's insane. It's empty. It is crazy. I could have written better. There is no policy that is contained anywhere in this document. It is fucking mental. I don't even know how to make a joke about it. This actually does. Yeah. Crimson Chin. This literally reads like a Disney daytime show, you know? Like a live action show where you have like the kooky kids and like one of them ends up bumping into like a state secretary and they swap briefcases and fast forward 12 minutes and they have to quickly write up like a State of the Union address, you know what I mean? There's like a 12-year-old like we're gonna make more jobs and okay, and we're gonna do less military but make it bigger too. We're also gonna go to Mars. Like that's actually what it reads like. It reads it's like whoever was in charge, like they actually gave this list to Trump. Like they actually let Trump write this out, you know? Yeah, the 6-year-old what I would do if I was president card. I got one of those cards when I was a little kid. I think I said back then The only thing I remember is they said, like, pay all soldiers $1,000 a day. And my mom asked me why. And I said their jobs seem really scary. I was like 5 years old. I don't fucking know. But even that's a policy. Even that actually sets it's a numerical amount. You could conceivably write that into law. That is a lot of money, but you could conceivably do that. Especially back then, that would have been like $1,300 in today's dollars. But you could have conceivably done that. But not these. There's nothing. There's no policy here. It's just vague platitudes. And again, a lot of this stuff the president can't do. Are you kidding me? What? Teach American exceptionalism? You're gonna you don't set the curriculum for the entire country. Bring back 1 million manufacturing jobs from China? Are you fucking insane? Are you crazy? Bring back 1 million manufacturing jobs from China? No, that's not. You can't do that. How? Again, like, obviously his whole presidency is a joke, so this is just like a cherry on top. But man, I hate to bring it back to this, but is this really the same as Biden? I know everyone who watches me already knows there's a difference between these things, but Trump is literally out here being like, we're going to go and kill all the terrorists and get the fucking illegals out, and we're going to teach every child in America that Americans are better and that Americans have a right to spread their influence all across the globe. And Joe Biden just has some dawdling neoliberal policies that were largely, pushed to the left by the Bernie caucus. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's fucking crazy. I can't believe Trump is real. I can't believe it's really happening. This is, by the way, why fascism dies. It's because fascism is deliberately incoherent. Anyone who attains power in fascism, in a fascist system, or through fascist, means, invariably must be held to the intellectual standards of fascism, which are lacking. There have never been any fascist governments that have really stood the test of time. They all die out, they all get overthrown, or they all get crushed by other countries. And there's a fucking reason for that. And man, oh man, am I feeling that when I look at this shit. Trump wins in 2020. Trump wins in November 3rd. Oh, shit. Listen, I'm not a big America fan, okay? But I live here, and as long as I live here, I'd like to keep this place at least kind of intact. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a smidge worried. Because... Do you think Mexico could just, like, annex Southern California, Arizona, and Texas? Do you think they would do that? Like, Trump would dedicate all the country's resources to a giant propaganda campaign that COVID-19 doesn't exist, and also to going to Mars, and like we're really busy, they would just annex the Southwest, I don't know. Oh God. All right, let's do it. Should be starting. Biden securing the tanky vote. Oh, dude, Biden has secured, like, the horseshoe vote. It's fucking crazy. Did you guys hear Richard Spencer endorsed Biden? That's not actually a joke.
Not defunding the police. I'm only diverting some funds to other programs. I don't think he'd get the same slack Joe Biden is getting on
Hold on
this.
1 second. I'll be right back.
And look, Joe Biden's not going to govern by himself if elected president. As you pointed out, a lot of people around him are a little farther to the left than Joe has historically been. So on this issue, I think the president has got something he should press here this week.
Tara Setmeyer joins us now. She is part of the Lincoln Project, a group of Republican political activists and strategists who are actively campaigning against the president. The Never Trump movement was knocked out in 2016. Not only did he become president, he took over the Republican Party. Woo! How do you convince Republicans who have stuck with Trump this long to finally switch to Biden?
Well, I don't know that it's trying to convince people who are still with the president at this point. I mean, if you are still supporting the president after so many failures, after all of the things that he's done with COVID-19, with his cozying up to our enemies and dictators, to the mess that the economy is now because of his lack of leadership with COVID, him playing footsie with white nationalists. I mean, the list is very long of grievances and of things that Donald Trump has done that are not Republican by any means. So those aren't the people we're trying to reach. We're trying to reach the people who held their nose and voted for Donald Trump because they couldn't stand Hillary Clinton and they thought that perhaps he would grow into the job.
I don't think there are actually people like that.
There are people who are in suburban neighborhoods, in suburban districts across this country who did not vote for Republicans in 2018. If you see the
I just want to say, I don't know how much I buy the like myth of the Lincoln Project that they're reaching a fuck ton of Republicans who just held their nose and voted to Trump. I feel like it's mostly just people who are Democrats who like them. There are like no never there are no never Trumpers.
Is letting people know that it's okay if you are uncomfortable with what Donald Trump is doing because he poses an existential threat to our constitutional republic.
Okay, some people in chat disagree. Fuck you.
Policies that he may have supported or passed are not worth the chaos and the division that he has caused in this country, and that we can't take another 4 years of it.
Yvette Simpson, CEO for Democracy for America, progressive Democrat. Want to bring you into this. Only 8% of black people voted for President Trump 4 years ago. Only 3% of African Americans think that President Trump has actually done a good job at reducing discrimination against black people in the criminal justice system. It seems like it should be a slam dunk for Joe Biden, and yet maybe it's not.
You know, I think when you put those statistics out there, I think it is. I mean, black folks have been with the Democratic Party for a very, very long time. This president has moved, I think, more black people to Joe Biden than anybody could. And here's why. Because the difference is stark. Donald Trump could care less about black people. He's made that very, very clear. I want to talk about the tokenization of black people in his campaign, the fact that he seems to use black people as pawns. We can think back to the State of the Union, which was really stark. He honored a Tuskegee Airman and then gave the Medal of Honor to Rush Limbaugh in the same breath. You hear him talking about Charlottesville, good people on both sides. And I think black people have awoken to that. No, we don't think Joe Biden is perfect. And yes, we're going to continue to push him to be better. But the alternative is stark. And what we know is that under a Joe Biden presidency, we're at least not going to have someone that's stoking the fire of racism, who is using African Americans and actually not delivering for us and creating the type of unrest that we're seeing in places like what we're seeing in Wisconsin today.
Let's bring in Terry Moran. He joins us now. Terry, back in 2016, Trump's base was motivated by his message. This convention, the Republicans don't particularly have a party platform. There's no bill.
Oh, one other thing, by the way. If you're donating via DLive, I love you. I have no fucking idea how to withdraw that money. If you want to donate, do it through the fucking site, okay? I love you. I'll check out Donos soon.
The wall theme this time, saying that Donald Trump would make a great U.S. president, and he tonight apparently is going to try to make the case that Donald Trump is not racist. Diversity is going to be on full display, but as you saw in Steve O's piece, many are not buying it.
That's right, Lindsay. You know, that is a great point. In 2016 and 2016, if you had asked Americans a week out of the election, what does Donald Trump stand for, whether they supported him or didn't support him, 95% of them could have said at least one thing: build a wall, ban Muslims, bring back jobs, go after China. They were all drain the swamp in Washington. That's a platform. You might not think it's that sophisticated, but those are ideas, those are practical ideas that people responded to. What does Donald Trump stand for this time?
Is it wrong that I find this guy very unsettling?
It has astonished me that it seems again and again he wants to push all of his chips into the middle of the table and play the race card. You know, what is he talking about, really, when he's talking about saving the suburbs from a Department of Housing and Urban Development run by Cory Booker, which is one of the sneering comments that he made on Twitter? What is he talking about
Saving the suburbs.
When he catastrophizes Black Lives Matter and calls it essentially an anti-American movement? He wants people to respond along the lines of race.
All right, our Terry Moran, who we were just listening to.
I heard this on the Majority Report, and I agree with it completely. When the conservatives are losing, they turn to the culture war bullshit. when conservatives know they're doing poorly, they go back to the American, glorious white America is being destroyed by communist black Jew gays. And they go right back to that narrative because that fear propels their base better than anything else.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
Who the
and
fuck are
justice
you?
for all.
Oh, World War II vet. Wait, which side did he fight on? Wait, he was on the Allies, right? Wait, they didn't say.
Good evening. It is an honor to be with you tonight. My name is Charlie Kirk. I run the largest pro-American student organization in the country, Turning Point USA, fighting for the future of our republic.
Kirk!
Speaking to you in my personal capacity tonight as a 26-year-old, I see the angst of young people,
he's my age?
as well as the challenges facing new parents. I am here tonight to tell you, to warn you.
Okay, we were just listening to Charlie Kirk there, the founder of Turning Points USA, conservative organization.
Wait. It's not, is this, I don't want your fucking play-by-play. Where the fuck is just the raw RNC feed? That was ABC, CBS. Wait, I just want the RNC.
A movement to reclaim our government from the rotten cartel of insiders that have been destroying our country. We may not have realized it at
he's
the
such
time,
a sniveling
but
little
Trump
fucking pussy.
is the
Look at how
bodyguard
practiced everything
of
he says
Western
is.
civilization. Trump was elected to protect our families from the vengeful mob that seeks to destroy our way of life,
culture war,
our neighborhoods, schools, churches, and values. President Trump was elected to defend the American way of life.
Play on their fear. Yep, exactly what I said. Play on their fear.
Means you follow the law, you work hard, you honor God, you raise your kids with strong values, and you work to create a civil society. The American way of life means you speak your mind without retribution, without being kicked off social media by a self-righteous censor in Silicon Valley.
Wait, what about...
It means you can freely practice your religion, and that church
what about taking
is
the
more
knee?
Essential than a casino.
Wait, you just
and it means that we
argued
judge
against...
people on their actions, not on their immutable characteristics.
Cancel culture, honestly.
The American way of life is being dismantled by a group of bitter, deceitful, vengeful activists who have never built anything.
Wait, I thought you just said
lives.
free speech. Wait, what do you mean?
They have us locking up pastors while releasing violent criminals from prison.
What?
We are kicking doctors off of social media, yet promoting Chinese state-funded propaganda on major tech
all
platforms.
vague nonsense.
This election is the most
rile
critical
up
since
fear,
1860,
rile up anger.
when a man
Your
named
base is
Lincoln was
stupid.
elected to preserve the Union from disintegration. This election is not just the most important of our lifetime, it is the most important since the preservation of the Republic in 1865. By re-electing Trump, we will ensure that our kids are raised to love our country and respect its founding fathers, not taught to hate or be ashamed of them.
Not indoctrinating children, by the way.
We will build monuments to heroes, not burn down our cities. We will be a country that rises to higher heights, that dreams big, thinks big, and achieves the impossible. A country that values our remarkable journey, the complexities of our past, but clearly communicates to the next generation that we have to be grateful, not angry, that we live in the United
teaching American
States.
exceptionalism.
We will be a country
Don't be
that
angry
makes
about
it
America,
easier
except
to
for
have
everything liberals
many
have done.
children. Live quiet and peaceable lives and worship your God without a tyrant getting in the way.
What tyrant?
We will be a country.
But President Trump isn't afraid to fight for what's right. He won't back down. His courage gives great teachers renewed hope.
Do you think eventually...
He's even proposed education freedom scholarships.
Do you think eventually Republicans are just going to brag about Trump's low black approval rating? Like, they're going to brag about it. Like, the same way they brag about how unions hate him. They're going to say, yeah, and, well, and black people hate Trump. They've been fighting against Trump ever since he came in office. But you know what? He's still standing up for you. They're going to brag about it, yeah.
Loving teachers and little kids. President Trump stands with America's families, great teachers, and most importantly, our children. So America's great teachers, let's stand with President Trump in protection of the kids and country we love.
This is gonna be every fucking one of these people up here, by the way. They all just sound like satanic panic wannabes. Every last fucking one of them.
To speak with you today. My name is Tanya Weinreis. I am from Montana, where I live with my husband. Who the fuck are you? My hero, a Marine and retired police officer. My husband and I own Mountain Mud Espresso.
Wow, I didn't know you could see never having an orgasm. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see the lack?
Our success is not measured by stockholders, but by our neighbors, the people we see at church.
Dude, she looks terrified.
With our son. Mountain Mud Espresso is the American story. A story not just for entrepreneurs, but for millions of hardworking men and women who are building their American dream every day.
Does anyone see like a red dot anywhere on her head?
Like so many businesses, we got the crushing news a large event we were serving was canceled because of the virus.
Oh no.
Our business was on the brink.
Oh.
Threatened to be shut down from losses that were not our fault.
If only the president passed.
I was scared. I thought of our 50 employees, the Mountain Mud family, and when I thought of their jobs, I thought of their rent being due, their kids, and I felt personally responsible.
Wow, if only we had a federal plan to address COVID-19.
I fell on my knees and prayed, Lord, what do I do? His words rang clear. Keep on working. It will be okay. I had faith, and let me tell you, you have to have faith when your husband is a Marine and a police officer who was shot at on the job. And when you run a business, a little faith goes a long way.
Dear Lord,
faith in Jesus,
our Father in heaven,
America.
Please, what do I do?
But I'm worried we have a generation of Americans who have been told that the American dream doesn't exist. That's a lie. I know, because I live that dream. It's why I feel so strongly that we need a president who believes in the American dream.
People say
like
poverty
President
is a
Donald
problem
Trump.
in America, but
Now
I,
more
a tech
than
billionaire,
ever.
am clearly evidence against this
I am so thankful that my
fact.
prayers for help were answered. My company was one of the first to receive a PPP loan, and praise God, it has been a lifesaver. Not only were we able to keep every single employee, but we've been hiring weekly ever since.
Wait, what?
I
Wait,
feel
because
for
of
local businesses
turnover?
across America who are under assault from shutdowns, from riots, and now facing the terrifying prospect of Joe Biden coming after everything we've built.
Wait, what? With what? What legislation?
I am so grateful we have leaders like President Trump standing up for local businesses like mine. Thank you, President Trump. It is exciting to be part of the great American comeback story.
This is so fucking creepy, dude. Holy shit. This really does feel like a cult. Like, this is the part where the leader takes all your daughters to go fuck them in the back room while you, like, sing his praises. Oh shit, Hair Man.
I'm Congressman Matt Gaetz. I'm speaking to you from an auditorium emptier than Joe Biden's daily schedule.
Ha!
But we are a nation of full hearts and clear minds.
Oh, they scheduled that with the fucking camera.
Strength or weakness, energy or confusion, success or failure. President Trump is the first president since Reagan not to start a new war. Biden has foolishly cheerled decades of war without winning, without end.
What?
President Trump knows we are strongest when we fight hardest, not in distant deserts, but for our fellow Americans. We must fight to save America now, or we may lose her forever. Joe Biden might not even notice. Settle for Biden. That's the hashtag promoted by AOC and the socialists. The Woketopians will settle for Biden because they will make him an extra in a movie written, produced, and directed by others.
That's new.
It's a horror film, really. They'll disarm you, empty the prisons, lock you in your home, and invite MS-13 to live next door. And the police aren't coming when you call. In Democrat-run cities, they're already being defunded, disbanded. Blaming our best and allowing society...
Just literally just 100% culture war. Democrats are going to murder every police officer and then burn them on a pyre in the center of town, and the smell of cooking meat will attract the rabid black and brown gangs who they will invite to live rent-free in the house next to yours, and you will be forced to share meat with them at the barbecue, and if you don't, you will be fucking executed by the feminazis. Just...
strategy. No, we won't settle for violence in our neighborhoods or at our border. We won't settle for decades of bad decisions by basement-dwelling Joe Biden. we settle a continent. We know that the frontier, the horizon, even the stars belong to us. Donald Trump, like all builders, is a visionary. That which is built in the mind is even more powerful than the brick and mortar that holds it together. First comes the mind, then the making. First comes the vision, then the work. Washington, Lincoln, and Jefferson are immortal precisely because of the pull they have on our imagination.
They're dead.
You cannot cancel a culture that loves its heroes.
They're dead.
The dangerous left need America to be weaker to accomplish their goal of replacing her.
What?
We know that to
With
make
what?
America great again, we must first make something of ourselves. That is the meaning of true strength. My great-grandfather was a railroad man. As a Florida man, I watch our rockets routinely send the brightest beyond the heavens with our flag and our hope.
What?
America is the greatest country that has ever existed. Don't let any celebrity, athlete, or politician tell you otherwise. President Trump sometimes raises his voice and a ruckus. He knows that's what it takes to raise an army of patriots who love America and will protect her. We must win this election if we cherish our country as much as we should, for there is no place to run, no refuge for freedom should we fail. America is not just an idea or a constitution.
I am terrified of this man.
Home. We must protect our home.
This man would kill it.
Unbreakable, made in America strength. Strength I see every day in President Donald Trump. Thank you.
Well, these people are all...
My name is Kim Klacik, and I'm running for Congress in Maryland's 7th District. And like Shirley Chisholm, I'm unbought and unbossed.
Teeth.
Let me remind you, the Democrats have controlled this part of Baltimore City for over 50 years.
Kim Klacik?
And they have run this beautiful
Klacik?
place right into the ground. Abandoned buildings, liquor stores on every corner, drug addicts, guns on the street. That's now the norm in many neighborhoods. You'd think Maryland taxpayers would be getting a whole lot.
Crime is down, you stupid bitch.
Instead, we're paying for decades of incompetence and corruption.
Crime is
Sadly,
down.
the same cycle of decay exists
The lowest
in many
it's
of
been in
America's
decades.
Democrat-run cities. And yet the Democrats still assume that black people will vote for them, no matter how much they let us down and take us for granted. We're sick of it.
The
We're not gonna take it anymore.
plantation.
The days of blindly supporting the Democrats are coming to an end.
They've been
In Baltimore,
saying that
we
for
have the
40
highest number of
years.
black Republicans in the entire country running for office this election cycle. Joe Biden believes we can't think for ourselves, that the color of someone's skin dictates their political views.
All right, here's my theory. There is exactly one black woman who's voting Republican, and it's Candace Owens, and she has a cloning facility somewhere. Because every single motherfucking black woman in America talks the exact same way. The exact same fucking way, okay? Holy shit. First of all, they all do that with their hair. I've never seen a black woman repping Republicans who had kinky hair. Second of all, to gone are the days where the Democrats will keep us on their plantation. It's the exact same shit every time.
Cities if we reach out to the citizens and deliver real results. President Trump is bringing this country back roaring. He's bringing the American spirit to life for all Americans. So I'm asking you to help President Trump.
You might want to check that clip. Wait, what's the issue? Wait, why am I getting weird? Wait, what did I say? What am I getting weird champed on right now?
Bless America.
Good evening.
You said all black
I'm
women
Ronna
talk the same?
McDaniel.
I said all black female conservatives use Candace Owens talking points. Wait, what? I said all black women look the same? No, I said they're all the same. Yeah, fuck all you.
As we speak to you tonight, we send our thoughts and prayers to those facing terrible fires and
You were implying black conservatives can't think for themselves? No, I fucking wasn't. I'm stating conservatives can't.
started their
Which is
convention
true.
last week with Eva Longoria, a famous Hollywood actress who played a housewife on TV. Well, I'm actually a real housewife and a mom from Michigan with 2 wonderful kids in public school who happens to be the only...
Wait, you literally said all black women sound the same? You misspoke? Yeah, and then I said all conservative black women sound the same. They use Candace Owens talking points. Did I not say conservative black women? Wait, did that not happen?
job. 4 years ago, President Trump started a movement unlike any other. And over the next 4 days, we will hear from a few of the millions of hardworking.
Wait, I really didn't say conservative? Oh, shit. Mask off.
Watch the DNC last week. You probably noticed that Democrats spent a lot of time talking about how much they despise our president.
True.
But we heard very little about their actual policies. Policies that would have been unthinkable a decade ago. Policies like banning fossil fuels, eliminating private health insurance, taxpayer-funded health care for people who come here illegally, and
True.
defunding the police.
True.
Their argument for Joe Biden boiled down to the fact that they think he's a nice guy. Well, let me tell you, raising taxes on 82% of Americans is not nice.
Is that
eliminating
on the docket?
10 million good-paying oil and gas jobs is not nice.
I don't think that's on the plan.
Policies that force jobs to flee our country or allow abortion up until the point of birth are not nice.
I don't think
the truth
any
is,
of these
there's
are
only one
on the
person who has
docket.
empathized with everyday Americans and actually been fighting for them over the past 4 years, and that is President Donald Trump. In the nearly 4 years I've worked on behalf of President Trump, I've seen up close a man who has a deep love for family, a man who...
I like that rhetorical strategy. You can say like, and pledging to rape every single child in America is not nice. They're not saying Biden wants to do that, mind you. They're not saying he wants to do it. They're just saying it's not nice. You know, they're just clarifying for everyone listening that it's not a good thing.
Tough when he works to fix our unfair trade deals. Tough when he fights to secure our borders. President Trump is always going to be tough when he is fighting for the American people, because nice guys like Joe cared more about countries like China and Iran than the United States of America. Tonight begins a new chapter in the great American story, a story that has inspired the world for generations. And when we re-elect President Trump this November, the best is yet to come. This election is the most important in our lifetime. Your vote counts more than ever. If you want to check your voting status, secure your ballot, or register to vote, text VOTE to 88022. Earlier today, President Trump and Vice President Pence came to North Carolina to thank our delegates for unanimously renominating them to a second term.
Oh shit, they've got the 88 in there.
Our official roll call and the business of our Republican convention was conducted today in Charlotte. We have created a short video to symbolize the excitement for President Trump across all 50 states and territories. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
She's still smiling. Look.
The great state of Alabama.
Alaska. Holy fuck, hello?
Arizona,
Arkansas,
California,
Colorado,
Connecticut,
Delaware, District of Columbia,
Florida, Georgia, Guam,
Hawaii,
Idaho,
Illinois,
Indiana, Iowa,
Kansas.
What a diverse lineup. Holy shit.
Maryland, Massachusetts,
Michigan,
Minnesota,
Mississippi, Missouri,
Montana,
Nebraska,
Nevada, New Hampshire,
New Jersey,
New Mexico, New York,
North Carolina,
North Dakota,
the Northern Mariana Islands,
Ohio.
There we go. We've done it. We filled our quota.
South Carolina,
South Dakota,
Tennessee,
United States Virgin Islands, Utah,
Vermont, Virginia,
Washington,
West Virginia,
Wisconsin, Wyoming. Are excited to nominate
Donald J. Trump.
God, I can't look. It's so fucking blindingly white.
Thank you.
Jesus.
You've done to make America great again.
It is our privilege.
I need sunglasses.
4 more years.
And we know the best is yet to come.
Yeah, are these all the same people? Yeah, exactly, Shu. Do we know these are different people?
4 more years. 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 4 more years.
Yeah, did you guys all... little kid, too.
And ladies and gentlemen of this country, the best is yet to come.
He's gotten nothing done in his first term. Was that Epstein? Can anyone confirm that we did not see Epstein in the crowd? I repeat, can anyone confirm that we did not?
I didn't back down from my promises, and I've kept every single one.
Where's the wall?
This current administration had made hope possible.
We want this
footage taken from 2011.
be the beacon of hope for the world.
How many people said they're going to leave America if Donald Trump was elected? They're all still here, and they're not going anywhere because we are in the land of the free.
We will never, ever sign bad trade deals. America first again. America first.
America's great USMCA trade bill. This is a big win for the United States of America. This is a great trade deal.
We are going to lift the...
I know I don't have any Trump supporters watching me right now, but I feel sort of an obligation as a political commentator to point out that Trump has a legendarily low score for following up on his promises, and that he has done like nothing. What has he done? Actually, what has he done? Half the shit he's done has ended up getting overturned by courts because he did it illegally or incompetently. And even that, he has not done very much. Muslim ban overturned, couldn't overturn DACA, couldn't overturn the ACA, couldn't replace the ACA with shit, got like 1/8 of the wall built. He got the tax cut done, that was the main thing.
Military, the countries that we are protecting.
Oh yeah, he said he would drain the swamp, but then he packed his fucking cabinet with old GOP warhawks, half of whom he ended up having to fire or ended up getting arrested.
Like they have never been taken care of before.
This guy saved me.
Yeah.
He saved me. Thanks to him, I'm here.
To me, he's giving people hope. What he's doing for the
I noticed we haven't really
everybody
talked about COVID much.
We are going to appoint justices of the United States Supreme Court who will uphold our laws and our Constitution.
Why supporting law enforcement is so important for keeping America great.
As long as I'm president, I will never defund your police, that I promise you. It's time to deliver a victory for the American people. We are going to start winning again. It's called Promises Made, Promises Kept.
180,000 dead. 180,000 dead. Nowhere is the end in sight.
My name is Amy Ford.
I can't listen to this.
I've been a registered nurse for 17 years. I'm from the small town of Williamson, West Virginia, where I've lived my entire life, the daughter of a nurse and a coal miner. Even though I was the youngest of 4 children, I was always somewhat of a caretaker. It came natural for me. So it felt right to follow in my mother's footsteps and become a nurse. And this March, when COVID-19 sent our country into crisis, I knew I had to help any way that I could. I deployed to New York in April and then to San Antonio, Texas, working as a COVID relief nurse in both states. As I contended with the challenges of treating our patients who had their worlds turned upside down, I noticed a positive change in our healthcare system. President Trump recognized the threat this virus presented for all Americans early on.
Oh, yeah?
And made rapid policy changes.
Oh, yeah.
And as a result, telehealth services are now accessible to more than 71 million Americans,
including only took us 8 months.
Prior to COVID, telehealth was not covered or reimbursed under Medicare, Medicaid, or CHIP. This left our most vulnerable populations with no other choice but to have an in-person office visit with their physicians, increasing their risk of exposure to COVID-19.
I'm sorry, really quickly, I just saw a chat in DLive saying, You really think the Black Lives Matters rioters won't kill you guys too? It is insane how perpetually fascists live in fear. I know, like, we fear them because they can take over the country and kill us and stuff, but man, can you imagine living that day in and day out? Like, quivering in your bed, like, the Minneapolis protesters. Like, can you imagine that? Holy fuck.
As a healthcare professional, I can tell you without hesitation, Donald Trump's quick action and leadership saved thousands of lives during COVID-19.
180,000 dead, 30 million people kicked off insurance during the pandemic. Still no fucking plan for them. Unemployment benefits cut.
Many that are just unable to find transportation or a way to the doctor for regular checkups.
No national plan.
This is especially
delayed
true
testing,
in rural America.
test results funneled to the
I live in a town of about 2,000
away
people.
from the CDC.
We do not have buses, trains, trolleys, or Ubers available to us. In addition, the unavailability of services can also hinder treatment for many. So increased access to telehealth for millions of Americans has truly been life-saving, and we have President Trump to thank.
From the very beginning, Democrats, the media, and the World Health Organization got coronavirus wrong.
I can't do this. They're just lying. They'll just lie.
Authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission.
Overall, most people should not be terribly concerned about it.
Everything is fine here. We do want to say to people, come to China.
Any clips of Trump saying that it was no big deal?
We don't even think it's going to be as bad as it was in other countries.
Go about your lives. Go about your business.
No clips of Trump. Oh my fucking
decisive
God.
action to save lives. President Donald Trump banning travel from China and coronavirus epicenters.
It was too
Biden
late.
Charged xenophobia, but President Trump was right, signing the CARES Act, providing immediate relief to American families, workers, and businesses.
It did nothing.
Declaring a national emergency, tapping into $42 billion in existing emergency funding.
$42 billion?
Crucial personal protective equipment to the
$42 billion for an unprecedented global pandemic?
Ensuring that American families and businesses impacted by the virus receive the strong support they need, launching Operation Warp Speed to fast-track a vaccine in record time.
He said everything that I could have hoped for. Promise made, promise kept.
He is ready, willing, and able to help. He has been responsive. He's done a lot of good things. What the federal government did was a phenomenal accomplishment.
In our hour of need, you all literally are helping us in a big way. We were at the edge, and this is life or death stuff, and we're forever thankful for that.
Soon, we will emerge safer, stronger, and greater than ever.
Fuck are you?
I am Dr. G.E. Ghali, an oral and maxillofacial surgeon and chancellor of a large academic medical and research center in Louisiana.
He's going to talk about hydrochloroquine, isn't he?
I feel uniquely positioned to share how President Trump's decisive leadership led to a rapid and efficient response to the coronavirus pandemic. I know this as a health professional and as someone who has recovered from COVID himself. The COVID-19 pandemic exploded into our great nation with an intensity unparalleled in history. But our medical investigation and drug development systems were not designed for a pandemic. The devastating effects of the coronavirus demanded immediate changes at the regulatory level.
A pandemic preparedness response team under Obama that Trump dispelled beforehand.
Cleared away the red tape that usually makes drug approvals a long and drawn-out process. By harnessing the resources of the federal government and the private sector, President Trump's Operation Warp Speed is accelerating the testing, supply, development, and distribution of therapeutics, diagnostics, and very shortly, effective vaccines to counter COVID-19. Let me give you 3 clear examples of how President Trump's leadership removed regulatory barriers so COVID patients could have faster access to effective therapies and diagnostics. First, on February 26, 2 phase 3 clinical trials studying remdesivir were initiated. Just 2 months later, the FDA approved remdesivir for emergency use to treat COVID-19.
Why are we doing this?
Normally, this is a 3 to 5 year process. The amazing speed with which...
I want you guys to understand how out of the ordinary this is. Normally, at a convention, they would never talk about the fucking... research done to approve X blank. The reason they're trying to do this is because they're trying to flank the left from the position of like the pro-science, like a position of being pro-science. That's the only reason they do this. That's why you guys have been seeing so many dumbfuck conservative MAGA hats on Twitter who are suddenly experts in fucking virology, and why they've all been talking about the validity of different tactics and approaches and medications with response to COVID-19. They're trying to obfuscate existing data on the subject. That's it.
Abbott rapid tests. Yet another tool quickly approved by this administration. Within 15 minutes, my test came back positive, and within 4 hours, I was receiving my remdesivir doses, followed by an infusion of convalescent plasma.
Okay.
As a physician, I've seen firsthand how these breakthroughs have saved countless lives.
Aren't you a face surgeon?
I've benefited from the expedited therapies made possible by the swift action of this administration.
Like, you're not a virologist.
President Trump truly moved mountains to save lives, and he deserves credit.
Wait, has he blinked?
Thank you, President Trump, for providing timely access to critical diagnostics and therapeutics during this pandemic. Thank you, Mr. President, for your strong leadership in these challenging times.
When the China virus invaded our country, we launched the greatest mobilization of American society since World War II. Patriots of every race, color, and creed rallied together to defeat the invisible enemy and save the lives of their fellow citizens. Today, our hearts overflow with appreciation for the incredible frontline workers who risk their own health and safety to keep America strong and safe. When crisis came, millions of everyday Americans rose to the challenge. In their actions, we see true greatness of the American character. We always find a way to victory. History will remember and celebrate the heroes of 2020 for as long as our great American flag waves over the land that we love.
It is so fucking
to every
confident.
Frontline worker, I offer the salute of a nation that
to be
is forever
pushing
in
this
your debt.
angle.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Atop the corpses of nearly 200,000 people. Like, we're literally sitting on the corpses of 200,000. We have no national plan, no idea what's going on. Still, in some cases, insufficient PPE for medical professionals. But they're still, like, celebrating this. You have to celebrate everything. There can be no failures.
Doctors, nurses, firemen, policemen, we want to thank you all. You have been incredible. And we want to thank you and all of the millions of people that you represent. Thank you all very much.
Lick
Great
each other.
Job. Thank you.
Lick each other.
Thank you all very much. So tell me a little about your stories. How about we'll start with you?
I'm a postal worker, delivered to the senior community during COVID-19.
Good. And we're taking good care of our postal workers. That I can tell you.
I like the editing.
We're not getting rid of our postal workers, you know? They'd like to sort of put that out there. If anyone does, it's the Democrats, not the Republicans.
Yeah, there we go. That's something Democrats do. They cut funding to the
beautiful post office system. We appreciate it.
Post office.
How about you?
I'm a trucker.
Good.
Own a small business in Ohio.
Great.
Holland steel mostly. You know, some of our customers actually made hospital beds with some of the material.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations. I love the truckers. You know, they're on my side.
Thank you.
I think all of them, frankly. I think pretty much all of them. How about you?
I'm a custodian at the post office as well.
What do you do exactly?
Clean up everybody's mess and everybody's germs and all that.
Can I tell you, that world, that profession will never be out of business. You know that,
for
right?
Sure.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And how about you?
I'm a registered nurse, President Trump.
I love the way Trump leans forward. It's like he's literally talking to the little people, you know?
I also represent an organization of professional nurses. It's called the National Association of Catholic Nurses.
Very good.
But I want to tell you, sir, as a nursing supervisor, I am so in awe of your leadership. Honestly, I know many people have said often interesting things, but it takes a true leader to be able to ignore all that stuff and do what is right and not be offended by all the words being said.
Yeah.
And you really do show that positive spirit to
Trump,
us.
you're
And as
so
nurses,
brave
I
and
appreciate
strong
that, but just as
for
an
not getting your
individual,
feelings
I'm
hurt.
grateful for that.
Well, I'm for the nurses, I'm for the doctors, I'm for
God,
everybody.
he's so
We
good
just
at
have to make this
standing.
China virus go away, and it's happening. Please, go ahead.
I'm also a nurse. I represent Genesis Healthcare, which is a skilled nursing facility
Sure.
company. I want to thank you and your administration for all the supplies and support and
Right.
funding that you've given the skilled nursing units. Without that, we couldn't do as well as we have done. I spent some time in New Jersey. I live in West Virginia. Went to New Jersey and did some work there.
Good, good.
And we finally started to see things change and turn around.
I appreciate what you said because we have delivered billions of dollars of equipment that governors were supposed to give, and in many cases, they didn't get. So the federal government had to help them, and all of the people that did this incredible work, they never got credit for it.
See,
but you understand where it came from. Thank you.
He can't even make it about the people he's talking to. Even with this is, first of all, this is awkward as fuck. But he literally can't even make it about them. He has to go like, "Oh, you're a postal worker, huh? Well, the lousy Democrats want to take your job away. I won't take your job away. They want to take your job away." Everything has to be circled back. They can't even edit around his narcissism.
Valuable, you know that, right? Thank you very much. Great. Please.
I'm a detention deputy at the Kern County Sheriff's Department out in California.
Great.
And I also contracted COVID end of March and recovered from that also.
How long was your problem?
I was sick about 10 days, really bad. I got everything besides a cough, but recovered. I was off work for a month and a half, and I work in our local county jails.
Did they do anything specifically to help you recover?
They gave me Z-Paks medication, cough syrup.
Okay, and I won't even ask you about the hydroxychloroquine because it's a shame what they've done to that one, but I took it. I took the Z-Pak also, and zinc. I want to thank you all very much. It's an honor to have you in the White House. You're fantastic people, and the people you represent an incredible group of people, and we love you all.
They can't edit around him sounding like a fucking idiot.
Appreciate it.
Good evening. I'm Congressman Jim Jordan,
What
representing
the
the 4th
fuck
District
is wrong
of
with your
Ohio.
chin, Jim
The Republican
Jordan?
Party is the pro-America party. President Trump is the pro-America candidate. This election is about who can preserve the values, principles, and institutions that make America great. Don't believe me? Look at what's happening in American cities. Cities all run by Democrats. Crime, violence, and mob rule.
Every major city is run by
Democrats refuse to denounce
Democrats.
the mob, and their response to the chaos: defund the police, defund Border Patrol, and defund our military.
Every major
And while they're
city is
doing all
run by
this,
Democrats.
they're also
Democrats
trying
live
to
in
take away
cities.
your guns. Look at the positions they've taken in the past few months. Democrats won't let you go to church, but they'll let you protest.
Don't make fun of his
Democrats
chin.
won't
He
let you go to
shits from
work,
there.
but they'll let you riot. And Democrats won't let you go to school, but they'll let you go loot. President Trump has fought against each of their crazy ideas. He's taken on the swamp, all of the swamp, the Democrats, the press, and the never-Trumpers. And when you take on the swamp fights back. They tried the
God,
Russia hoax.
that is so fucking indicative of the actual fascism we're dealing with here. Do you hear that? The swamp is the never-Trumpers. It's not just people who are, it's not just globalists or anti-Americans or pedophiles or whatever. The swamp includes people who dare to not support him. The GOP is so cucked that they let this run as the Republican convention. This isn't supposed to just be about Trump. This is about the party. But it's only about Trump. There is no party outside of Trump.
How much he truly cares about people. Our family has seen it. 2 years ago, our nephew Eli was killed in a car accident. He lived a mile up the road from us, grew up wrestling and training with our boys, was a high school state champion, varsity athlete for the University of Wisconsin. It was a Saturday morning, 3 days after the accident. I walked to the car to head up to Eli's parents' home when the president called. We talked about a few issues, and then he asked how the family was doing. I said, "They're doing okay, Mr. President, but it's tough."
Okay.
The president said, "Yeah, losing a loved one is always difficult, and it's really tough when they're so young." I then said, "Mr. President, I'm actually walking into their house right now. Obviously, they don't know that I'm talking to you, but if you'd be willing to say hello to Eli's dad, you'd make a terrible day a little less terrible."
What's
his name? The president asked. I walked through the door and said, "Todd, the president wants to talk to you." For the next 5 minutes, family and friends sat in complete silence, as the President of the United States, took time to talk to a dad who was hurting. That's the president I've gotten to know the last 4 years. The president who shared private moments.
All right, I don't care about this. Well, he's rambling about... God, this reminds me of the Biden phone call thing, except this feels more cult-like, rather than just like... That's the... When Biden does some weird, creepy, like, I'll call you any day, Jack. Well, it just comes off like weird, kind of like charming, creepy, you know, like old guy, like on his way out kind of thing. This just feels cultish. Hey, oh no.
A singer or a politician. I'm Herschel Walker. Most of you know me as a football player, but I'm also a father, a man of faith, and a very good judge of character. I've known Donald Trump for 37 years, and I don't mean just casual ran into him from time to time.
We'd suck each other's dicks.
Deep personal friendship. I watched him as an owner of a professional football team. Right after he bought the team, he set out to learn. He learned about the history of the team, the players, the coaches.
Wow, I really don't care about this. Hey, hold on. If you're watching this right now on DLive, make sure to hit the follow button next to my channel. Make sure to follow the channel. It doesn't actually do or mean anything, but I want you to anyway. Do it. I want to see the number go up, okay? Yeah, that was all I wanted to say.
Stars and waiters, the same way he would treat a VIP. He made them feel special because he knew they were. He understands that they are the people who make this country run. They clean, they cook, they build, they drive, they deliver.
This guy's really hot.
Make an effort to get to know people.
I'm feeling weak.
Remember their names. That stuck with me.
Look at his fucking cheekbones, dude. Jesus Christ, I wish.
My family. At the last minute, Donald said he'd like to join us. So there he was, in a business suit, on It's a Small World ride. That was something to see.
We got some pussies in chat right now.
It just shows you what a caring, loving father he is. It hurt my soul to hear the terrible names that people call Donald. The worst one is racist. I take it as a personal insult that people would think I've had a 37-year
Everyone who weird champed in chat is against interracial relationships and should be shamed.
Growing up in the
I'm
deep
weird
South,
champing the weird champers. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I know what it is, and it isn't Donald Trump. Just because someone loves and respects the flag, our national anthem, and our country, doesn't mean they don't care about social justice. I care about all those
He looks
things.
like the Bogdanov twins.
He shows how much he cares about social justice in the black community through his actions. And his action speaks louder than stickers or slogans on a jersey. He keeps right on fighting to improve the lives of black Americans and all Americans. He works night and day. He never stops. He leaves nothing on the field. Some people don't like his style, the way he knocks down obstacles that get in the way of his goals. People on the opposing team didn't like when I ran over them either, but that's how you get the job done. I pray every night that God gives him more time. Give him 4 more years. He has accomplished so much almost all by himself on a constant attack. But there's still more work to be done. If you love America and want to make it better, Donald Trump is your president. He's my president, and I'm blessed to call him friend.
Okay, so literally nothing was said there. Okay, that's good. Okay, all right.
Good evening. I'm Natalie Harp.
Hi.
A formerly forgotten American from California. In the classic Jimmy Stewart film, It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey is given a great gift. The chance to see what the world would be like without him.
Is this girl in high school?
Tonight, Mr. President, we'd like to give you that same gift. Because without you, we'd all be living in Pottersville, sold out to a crooked Mr., or I should say, a crooked Mrs. Potter, with no hope of escape except death itself. I should know.
What?
Because I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for you. About 5 years ago, I was the victim of a notoriously deadly medical error. I survived, but only to be diagnosed with a rare and terminal bone cancer.
Wait.
You know, the Democrats love to talk about healthcare being a human right. But a right to what? Well, I'll tell you.
A human
to them,
right?
It's a right to marijuana,
What?
opioids, and the right to die with dignity. A politically correct way of saying assisted suicide. I was told I was a burden to my family and to my country.
Wait,
and that by choosing to die early, I'd actually be saving the lives of others.
What?
By preserving resources for them.
What?
Rather than wasting them on a lost cause.
Wait, did the
like
Democrats
myself.
tell you that?
And when I failed
What?
the chemotherapies that were on the market, No one wanted me in their clinical trials.
What?
I'd make them look bad. They didn't give me the right to try experimental treatments, Mr. President. You did.
What the
and
fuck?
Without you, I'd have died waiting for them to be approved.
Wait, how did
now
Trump...
with the coronavirus, everyone knows what that feels like to be waiting for a cure.
Wait,
but
how
we've
did
only
Trump
been waiting a few months. Just imagine what 2020 would have looked like, fighting for your life without Donald Trump fighting for it too.
Yeah, if only we didn't
In January,
have Trump
there would have been no
dealing
China
with
travel ban.
COVID-19.
Millions would have died. Millions more would have been infected. For there'd be no record levels of testing, no right to try treatments, no fast track for a vaccine, nor Operation Warp Speed ready to deliver it.
What
and
the
without
fuck
Donald
is
Trump
happening?
as our patient advocate for the past 4 years?
No, seriously,
well,
what the fuck is happening?
The opioid epidemic would have stolen even more lives from even more families. Kidney patients would have no future except dying on wait lists, for there'd be no initiative to increase donations.
Wait, how did
There'd
Trump
still
save
be no
her life?
accountability at the VA. And our brave veterans would still be suffering long wait times with no choice nor access to faster care.
I don't understand.
Insulin and other drug prices would have continued to rise, while a record number of generic drugs would still be stuck in the pipeline. There'd be no price transparency.
What's going
we wouldn't
on?
have health plans up to 60% cheaper than Obamacare, and we'd still be stuck with that infamous individual mandate. And God forbid what the next 4 years would look like. For in Joe Biden's America, China would control our drug production. We'd be one step closer to government-run health care.
I'm getting
we
like
wouldn't
gish
just be unable
gallops.
to keep our doctors. We'd be lucky if we could see any doctor. And
What?
even then, some of us would be denied care. For in socialized medicine, you don't beat the odds, you become the odds. And I would lose my right to try, just like Charlie Gard, that terminally ill British baby whose government-run healthcare system decided it was too expensive and too cruel to keep him alive. You see, Mr. President, you've done so much more than your promises
I
made
don't know what's
and
happening.
promises kept.
Am I
For numbers,
stroking out?
Only tell part of the story.
Is this a fever dream?
We are the rest of it. Facts with faces of Americans who would still be forgotten if you and our favorite First Lady hadn't given up your own wonderful life so we could have the chance at one. George Bailey's father was right. All you can take with you is that which you've given away. And Mr. President,
Am I being
that
false
makes you
flagged right now?
the richest man in the world. For you have used
Is this
your
a memetic
strength
kill
to
agent?
make
Yeah, what the
America
fuck?
strong again. Sacrificed the life you built to make America proud again. And you risked everything to make America safe again. It's a wonderful life. You made America great again. And on November 3rd, we are going to keep America great.
Wow, that was legitimately the most unhinged thing I've ever heard in my life. That I actually felt like that was a scene out of a movie that was designed to make the audience unnerved and uncomfortable. That was incredible. By the way, I noticed she didn't say which treatment it took to help her with her cancer, and I bet you that's because the treatment she received was already FDA approved. I'd bet you anything that the treatment she received was not one of the treatments that was experimental that Trump would have allowed her to take.
Wondering, why is a lifelong Democrat speaking at the Republican National Convention?
I'm not wondering.
And that's a fair question.
It's not.
And here's your answer. The Democratic Party does not want black people to leave their mental plantation.
Every time!
We've been forced to be there
It's the
for
same
decades and generations. But I have news for Joe Biden. We are free. We are free people with free minds. And I'm part of a large and growing segment of the black community who are independent thinkers, and we believe that Donald Trump is the president that America needs to lead us forward.
Okay, wait. We're entering the edge zone because we're on DLive. You know what this reminds me of? I remember there was a big effort post that was once made about a community of people on Twitter who claimed to be minors, like underage people, who were pro-pedophilia. Like, they were pro being abused by adults. And that's what this reminds me of a little bit. Like, you could do the exact same speech. Like, yeah, the anti-pedophilia people have us on a plantation, but I'm here to say that we have minds of our own, and we can come to our own decisions about whether or not we want to be abused by adults. And that's exactly what this reminds me of. I think those accounts got banned, by the way, which is probably a pretty good thing. But that's exactly what this reminds me of, okay? That's the vibes that I get from this.
Carolina, Scotland County, the Green Pond community to be exact. My parents, Robin and Rufus Jones, built with their own hands a 4-room cinder block home with no indoor plumbing. They had very limited education, but they instilled in us a strong work ethic.
They're still around, unfortunately. Wait, are there still fucking people like that on Twitter?
To those
Jesus Christ.
halls of the Georgia General Assembly. My parents taught me if I believed in God, worked hard, and treated every person fairly, there was no limit to what we could achieve. I attended North Carolina Central University, an historical black college. For generations, HBCUs have been the incubators that develop black scholars in math and science and religion, engineering, and politics.
Cool.
They have been important springboards for the black success. But Democrats haven't treated them that way. When President Trump took office, he changed everything. He delivered historic funding to HBCUs, and he guaranteed it for 10 years, something that's never happened in the history of this country. That gave our HBCUs stability.
Is that true, by the way? I don't look into this because, like, they lie about everything. But did Trump actually provide historic funding to historically black colleges and universities? Is that actually a thing? I'll look it up.
Either their race or zip code is left behind. Every child should have access to a quality education. But education is just the beginning. The president also built the most inclusive economy ever, with record low unemployment for African Americans and record high participation in the workforce. He put opportunities.
Oh, that's cool. So speaking of black-owned businesses, apparently this guy's company had to pay out $185,000 in damages due to racial discrimination suits that were filed against him. So that's pretty funny, you know. This guy clearly cares a lot about giving back to the black community.
Justice reform. He ended once and for all the policy of incarceration of black people, which has decimated our communities.
What?
Caused by no other than Joe Biden.
What?
Democrats
Trump
wouldn't do
ended
it.
arresting black
Obama
people?
Didn't want to do it. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris definitely wouldn't do it. But Donald Trump did it. He's also working every day to make our community safer.
He ended...
As a former executive of DeKalb County,
arrest of
Georgia,
black people. Trump.
I directed one of the largest public safety departments in the Southeast.
Based?
I've seen tragic shootings on both sides. Officers killing citizens and citizens killing officers in the line of duty.
Yeah. You can't incarcerate the black guys if you kill them on the tarmac. That's the strategy. See, George Floyd was technically never incarcerated, so that's how he gets around it.
Unfortunately, Democrats have turned their backs on our brave police officers. They call it defunding, and it's a danger to our cities, our neighborhoods, and our children. Isn't it ironic that Democrat politicians have personal security to protect them? So why don't they forego their security and replace them with social workers? Especially since that's what they want for you and me.
I love that. I love that line, dude. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Saying we should probably use social workers to address some of the calls that instead end up going to police officers means that high-profile politicians and assassination targets shouldn't be protected with security. That makes so much sense. Excellent. Very nice.
Sincere police reform. That's right. Donald Trump did that too. Education, jobs.
You claim to be
safety,
anti-police,
security,
but you have social
on issue after
secret service.
And in just a single term, he destroyed these negative forces that have victimized the black community for decades.
No more black incarceration,
folks. He gave us
folks.
the opportunity to rise. Now, you know, when I made the public announcement of my support for President Trump, all hell broke loose. I was threatened, called an embarrassment, and asked to resign by my own party.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's consistent with the Democratic Party and how they view independent thinking black men and women.
Jesus Christ, the race baiting, dude. Oh yeah, you really think that the Democrats you work with wouldn't like ask you to resign if you're thinking of endorsing Trump? All it took was Mitt Romney to sign off on Trump's impeachment, and they said that he was a rhino, not a real Republican. Republican in name only. Yeah. Gee, look at the fucking like they don't like independent thinking black people. Like, it's so dumb. Like, this is such bait. It's race card bullshit.
That's what this election is all about. And that's why right now, more than ever before, America needs Donald Trump in the Oval Office for another 4 years. God bless you, and vote Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
They'll keep the id poll going until the end of the fucking world, by the way. Until the end of the fucking world. We could literally have like an ethno-state and they would still be doing it.
In 2018, a gunman walked into Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
School safety activist.
My name is Andrew Pollock. His name isn't worth saying. One of the seniors walking in the hallways that day was my beautiful daughter, Meadow. She was just months away from graduating and beginning a new life.
Look this guy up.
We were so proud of the woman she had become. But in the hallway on that third floor, the gunman saw Meadow and shot her down the hallway, hitting her 4 times. After she was shot and on the floor, she crawled over to another student, a freshman girl, to protect her. She draped her body over her, and then the scumbag gunman shot my daughter at point-blank range 5 more times, killing Meadow and the girl she was shielding.
This isn't going to stop me from making fun of you, dude.
She had a whole life ahead of her. And in that life, she could have done anything and been anything. So many moments that I waited so long for were taken from me. I didn't get to drop her off at college. I didn't get to walk her down the aisle. But every moment was taken from her, and for what? I never wanted this to become a political spectacle, but it did.
Oh, yeah?
I never wanted to meet the president like this, but I did.
Yeah, I never wanted to make this a political spectacle, I say at the fucking podium at the RNC describing in gruesome detail the death of my daughter. Jesus fucking Christ.
Interested in answers and solutions. So if the president wanted to meet me personally, I said I'd go. They said, of course, that was his plan. At the White House, my family and I sat with the president in the Oval Office and told him about Meadow. I told him what we knew. I told him that his administration needed to take a closer look at what went wrong and why. And I got to see who President Trump really is. He's a good man and a great listener, and he cuts through the BS. Then the president did what he said he would do. He took action. He formed a school safety commission that issued dozens of recommendations to make schools safer. But I'll bet you never heard about that. Instead, the media turned my daughter's murder into a coordinated attack on President Trump.
Bullshit.
Republicans and our Second Amendment.
Wait. Your daughter died just like in a school shooting and the media started attacking Trump? I think you might be missing a couple of interim steps that might explain this very strange occurrence.
Shockingly, they asked about the government shutdown. President Trump turned to me appalled and said, "Andy, can you believe these people? We're trying to talk about school safety, and this is what they do." But I could believe it. After my daughter's murder, the media didn't seem interested in the facts. So I found them myself.
What?
I learned that gun control laws didn't fail my daughter. People did. The gunman had threatened to kill his classmates before. He had threatened to rape them. He had threatened to shoot up the school. Every red flag you could imagine. But the school didn't just miss these red flags. They knowingly ignored them. Far-left Democrats in our school district made this shooting possible because they implement...
Yeah, I can give you this guy's entire pitch. So this is the guy who wants all your 4-year-olds to go to elementary school with bulletproof backpacks. This is the guy who thinks that every single fucking school lunch bag should be filled with napkins that can be overlayered one another to form a camouflage net that you can use to hide near the bushes when the shooter comes. This is the guy who wants you to spend $1 million a year in every school administration across the country with security officers and wants there to be metal detectors. He wants to turn every single school in America into a fucking demilitarized zone. That's what this guy wants. That's what this guy wants. Which is disgusting. And I don't know whatever happened to the saying, those who would trade freedom for security deserve neither. But I do not want my country's fucking elementary schools to be turned into military checkpoints because we're too stupid to address rampant gun culture, the proliferation of illegal firearms, and mental health problems in this country. And I'm not using fucking Anecdote Andy over here as a positive testimony for this process.
Mr. Biden may not know who was vice president that day, but I do. It wasn't Joe Biden. It was Mike Pence. Thank God.
I think Joe probably did know.
And I know who the president was, too. It wasn't Barack Obama. It was President Donald J. Trump, and he took action. I truly believe the safety of our kids depends on whether this man is reelected. I hope you'll join me in helping to make that happen.
No,
Mr.
any
President,
data on this?
Myself and millions of Americans appreciate you and love you. God bless America, and God bless our president, Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
So nothing there was said. Literally just lying Democrats.
A curfew now in effect for the city of St. Louis.
Protests in St. Louis turned violent.
What? What the fuck is going on right now?
Mark McCloskey says he and his family have been threatened with violence. Under Missouri law, you have a right to defend your home.
We're getting the
search warrant has been executed at the home of Mark and Patricia McCloskey.
The
husband
fucking
and wife attorneys charged with pointing guns at protesters.
They were simply trying to protect their home.
Good evening, America.
Hello!
We're Mark and Patty McCloskey. We're speaking to you tonight from St. Louis, Missouri.
My meme
where just weeks
brethren.
ago you may have seen us defending our home as a mob of protesters descended on our neighborhood.
Illegally brandishing firearms.
America is such a great country that not only do you have the right to own a gun and use it to defend yourself, but thousands of Americans will offer you free advice on how to use it. At least that's what we experienced.
Nice meme.
What you saw happen to us could just as easily happen to any of you who are watching from quiet neighborhoods around our country. And that's what we want to speak to you about tonight.
That's exactly right. Whether it's the defunding of police, ending cash bail so criminals can be released back out on the streets the same day to riot again, or encouraging...
These people have no qualifications. They literally just illegally brandished firearms at protesters, and that's why they're here.
As protecting...
Because Republicans also want to do that.
But rather protecting criminals from honest citizens. Not a single person in the out-of-control mob you saw at our house was charged with a crime. But you know who was? We were. They actually charged us with felonies for daring to defend our home.
No, you brandished a firearm.
Consider this. The Marxist liberal activist leading the mob to our neighborhood stood outside our home with a bullhorn screaming, "You can't stop the revolution."
That's not a crime.
Just weeks later, that same Marxist activist won the Democrat nomination to hold a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Great.
In the city of St. Louis, that's the same as winning the general election.
Good. She's not a criminal like you.
Revolutionary is now going to be the Congresswoman from the 1st District of Missouri. These radicals are not content with marching in the streets. They want to walk the halls of Congress.
I mean, you're the one who broke the law, bro.
They want power. This is Joe Biden's party. These are the people who will be in charge of your future and the future of your children.
They're not satisfied with spreading the chaos and violence into our communities. They want to abolish the suburbs altogether.
Good.
By
Fuck
ending
suburbs.
single-family home zoning. This forced rezoning would bring crime, lawlessness, and low-quality apartments into now thriving suburban neighborhoods. President Trump smartly ended this government overreach, but Joe Biden wants to bring it back. These are the policies that are coming to a neighborhood near you. So make no mistake, no matter where you live, your family will not be safe in the radical Democrats' America.
At this moment in history, if you stand up for yourself and for the values our country was founded on, the mob, spurred on by their allies in the media, will try to destroy you. You've seen us on your TV.
When Republicans are weak, they resort to culture war bullshit. What you are looking at is two criminals who were so unfamiliar with the law and so lacking in self-control that they brandished firearms on legal citizens who were dutifully and correctly exercising their First Amendment rights. And these people are being celebrated because it is the conservative dream to pull firearms on black people who are yelling at you. It is the conservative fucking wet dream to do so. So now this person's going to talk about how all America is going to be destroyed and how everything's being torn apart. They're scared, folks. What's that scene from Starship Troopers? Place your hand against this man's meaty temple. He's scared!
It's nothing but destruction.
When we don't have basic safety and security in our communities, we'll never be free to build a brighter future for ourselves, for our children, or for our country. That's what's at stake in this election, and that's why we must re-elect Donald Trump. God bless you. God bless the president.
And God bless the United States.
They're literally just here because they got to draw guns on like, that's it. There's nothing else. They're a meme. That's it.
Good evening, America. I'm Kimberly Guilfoyle. I speak to you tonight as a mother,
I hate
former
looking at this person,
a Latina, and a proud American. And yes, a proud supporter of President Donald J. Trump. Why? Because he is the president who delivers for America. He built the greatest economy the world has ever known for the strivers, the working class and middle class. As commander-in-chief, he always puts America first. President Trump is the law and order president. Now, presidential leadership is not guaranteed. It is a choice. Biden, Harris, and the rest of the socialists will fundamentally change this nation. They want open borders, closed schools, dangerous amnesty, and will selfishly send your jobs back to China while they get rich. They will defund, dismantle, and destroy America's law enforcement. When you are in trouble and need police, don't count on the Democrats. As a first-generation American, I know how dangerous their socialist agenda is.
Police don't prevent crimes. They show up after the crimes have taken place. We want to prevent them. Invest in these communities.
Nation in pursuit of the American dream. Now, I consider it my duty to fight to protect that dream. Rioters must not be allowed to destroy our cities. Human sex drug traffickers should not be allowed to cross our border. The same socialist policies which...
I know she meant human traffickers, sex traffickers, drug traffickers, but human sex and drugs.
If you want to see the socialist Biden,
we will put an
Harris
end to all sex, human sex, and other types of sex.
It is a place of immense wealth.
I have never enjoyed sex.
Innovation, an immaculate environment.
Not once in my life.
And the Democrats turned it into a land of discarded heroin needles in parks, riots in streets, and blackouts in homes.
Whoa, is that a dog whistle?
In President
Mask
Trump's
off.
America, we light things up. We don't dim them down.
In President Trump's America.
We build things up. We don't burn them down.
Her cadence.
We kneel in prayer. And we stand for our flag. This election is a battle for the soul of America. Your choice is clear. Do you support the cancel culture, the cosmopolitan elites of Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Joe Biden, who blame America first? Do you think America is to blame? Or do you believe in American greatness? Believe in yourself, in President Trump, in individual and personal responsibility. They want to destroy this country and everything that we have fought for and hold dear.
You know, normally when I talk about America, I'm more like, we don't need to destroy America. We just need to fundamentally unearth and, you know, fix its institutions. But when I look at and listen to Republicans, sometimes I really do feel like if this country just sank into the ocean, the world would be so much better for it, you know? Just like, holy fuck. We would be like the brave crewman with the xenomorph in it jettisoning himself out of like the aft portion of the ship, you know? Like you lose that portion of the ship and everyone on board, but you take the threat with you.
That once shined so bright. His promise was to put America first, and he has.
Like, she sounds like
when
a Nazi.
President Trump
like her
cut
cadence.
middle-class taxes, putting tens of thousands of dollars back in the pockets of working-class Americans.
Like, she just sounds like a Nazi. She's talking her cadence.
When President Trump commanded the defeat of ISIS, took out al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, and paved the way for peace in the Middle East, that beacon started to glow.
Like, this is extraordinary.
When he negotiated historic trade deals with Canada, Mexico, Japan, and China, bringing back thousands of manufacturing jobs to America, that beacon shined bright once again for the world to see.
Once again, listen to her. And after Trump succeeded in negotiating with the other countries, the flame of ours rose once again. Like, I play Dungeons and Dragons. I do the role play, whatever. This is legitimately like how I would play a crazy villain. Look at her. Look at her just moving. Like, do you even need to hear what she's saying?
Don't let them destroy your families, your lives, and your future. Don't let them kill future generations because they told you and brainwashed you and fed you lies that you weren't good enough. Like my parents, you can achieve your American dream. You can be that shining example to the world. Manifest and be the change in this country that you dream, that you hope, that you believe in. Stand for an American president who is fearless, who believes in you, and who loves this country and will fight for her. President Trump is the leader who will rebuild the promise of America and ensure that every citizen can realize their American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come.
Yeah, again, this is legitimately terrifying. Like, she just seems like an actress who is cast to play a role. I need you guys to understand, this is not what the RNC has normally been like. I've watched the RNC two times before, and it's not normally like this at all. This is new. We're falling down a new hole.
Police. We're facing some tough challenges in America. This isn't the first time we've been here. I've worked closely with Donald Trump over the last few years, and if there's one constant theme to how he approaches problems, it's how much he cares about the hardworking people that Washington left behind. I've seen this firsthand. After I was shot...
I'm sorry, that last bitch was so crazy and so obviously evil that I actually feel kind of like, I'm a little, trusting of this guy. I don't know. I've been set up.
My wife, Jennifer. They were there for my family.
Good
in
fascist,
my darkest
bad fascist, you know?
Donald Trump would call to check on me throughout the following weeks, just to see how I was doing.
A little disarmed.
That's the kind of person he is. That's the side of Donald Trump that the media will never show you. Look, there's a lot at stake. This is an election between a party that wants to burn down the foundations of our country to the ground and a party that wants to rebuild and protect our great nation. The left wants to defund the police. This is personal to me. I wouldn't be here without the bravery and heroism of the men and women in law enforcement who saved my life. President Trump stands with those brave men and women. Joe Biden has embraced the left's insane mission to defund them. There won't be an America to leave to our children and grandchildren without those brave law enforcement officers and first responders. Joe Biden's made a career in Washington for 47 years, promising things he's never delivered. In just 3 short years, President Trump has delivered huge wins for American families. While Joe Biden made hollow promises when he chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee, Donald Trump took action and delivered criminal justice reform. Joe Biden claims to care about the working man, but millions of good manufacturing jobs were shipped overseas during the Obama-Biden years to countries like China. Donald Trump brought...
Okay, this guy's actually boring as fuck. Can we take a brief rejoinder following the previous segment right there? I'm kind of tempted, if I had the time, I would pull up like the 14 points and I would talk about, like, you know, what it means to be fascist or which conditions are associated with fascism. But I don't. So I'm only going to say this, and I'm probably going to say it again. The Republican Party in its current state poses the greatest existential threat to this planet and to this country that has ever existed, ever. In fact, I would go so far as to say that with regards to respective capacity for literal world destruction, the Republican Party today presently exceeds even what the Confederates did back then, because the Confederates were weak and were crushed succinctly by the Union forces, whereas there is a very legitimate chance of Trump winning again, and in an age not only of nuclear armament, but also of rapidly accelerating global climate change, the weapons on the table today are far, far more potentially deadly than those that were available back then. Worse than Hitler? Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. Yes, absolutely. Republicans and what they've done with global climate change and their being in charge of the nuclear arsenal is undeniably a greater threat to the world than what Adolf Hitler posed back in 1930. What's it? Unquestionably, yeah. Does that make them as morally heinous as the Nazis? No, but they have far, far more power, and we live in a far more tumultuous age. We are reaching a breaking point, in not just in this country, but on this planet, and there is literally nothing more essential, nothing, than the complete disempowerment of the Republican Party and the people who support the Republican Party. There is absolutely nothing else that trumps that. Unbelievable. It is unbelievable how far we have moved over to this point. Yeah, Chomsky had this take. Yeah, the Republican Party is today the most dangerous institution. Yeah, so on.
On fire as hundreds of Taliban charged us from three sides. We had 24 men that day. Wave after wave of Taliban advanced up the hill. I was wounded 3 times in the fighting. Nearly all of my platoon was wounded within the first minute, but the enemy kept coming. We fought to our last rounds of ammunition, and when it was over, we held the hill.
What the fuck are we talking about?
In the face of death, I saw ordinary Americans become heroes. In our darkest hour, when our survival depended on each other, my men and I learned an important lesson. We all bleed red.
What?
Our differences did not define us. United, we were unbeatable. After 485 days of combat, I came home eager to enjoy the freedoms I risked my life to defend. But I watched with alarm as the party of my grandfather, a lifelong Union Democrat, turned against the very people it professed to represent.
What are we talking?
I watched as Joe Biden spit venom at an auto worker who dared to question Joe's intent to dismantle the Second Amendment and take your guns.
What?
Where Democrats
was this when Joe shouted at that guy?
Law-abiding Americans who displayed our flag with pride, this new Democrat Party considers these people uneducated racists clinging to guns and Bibles. The party of Harry Truman became the party of hedge fund managers, Hollywood celebrities, tech moguls, and university professors, all bloated with contempt for middle America. I look across the aisle and I do not see a party that wants you to pursue your dreams. I see a Democrat Party that wants to dictate what those dreams are. I don't see a party that wants you to be free. I see a party that wants to chain you to conformity and will destroy anyone they deem a heretic.
Impressively
I swore an oath to defend my country and its Constitution. President Trump has sworn to do the same. That's why he's advanced freedom, despite savage political attacks, to overcome the agenda of the radical left. President Trump has unleashed the economic might of this nation like no other president in our history. He triggered the rising tide of working families, brought us energy independence, reclaimed jobs.
Can you guys tell this guy's a Tucker Carlson fan? The working class of this country has been abandoned by the Democrats, who are too busy besmirching people who hold Bibles or skewering people in the rural areas for being racist. This guy is very, very, very clearly channeling that energy.
Given our president's vision for the future, I stand here tonight calling on all Americans to join us. It doesn't matter what you look like, who you love, how you worship, your gender or your job. If you're a traditional Democrat who's become disillusioned with how radical your party has become, then stand with us. You are most welcome. America needs all her patriots to rush to her defense.
I think it does depend what your gender is.
I promise you this. In our tent, you are free. Free to speak the truth, choose your journey, define your life. You have the power to go.
These vagaries are giving me a headache. I'm pretty sure the gender thing does matter a smidgen, as does who you worship, considering what Republicans have done to Muslim people and transgender people.
Think about it. In a century, we went from ground-bound dreamers gazing to the stars to doers who created the means to reach them.
What?
This is not the time to stand on the sidelines. If you love our country as we do, as our president does, join the chorus of patriot voices that will preserve this exceptional union. Mr. President, lead the way. Millions in our American family believe in this path to destiny. Guide us to that horizon. Thank you, and may God bless the United States of America.
God, these people are fucking crazy. Your gender and your religion doesn't matter.
Imagine a future.
But we're only going to have cisgender, straight Christians up here to represent our party.
And faith. A country where we are judged by our character with dignity and respect for all.
Don't show Lincoln.
The belief that all are created equal, that lives matter irrespective of race, creed, or color. Committed to excelling beyond our dreams. 4 years ago, we faced an historic crossroad. Career politicians promising change every election, but delivering emptiness.
Wait. You can't show Bernie Sanders as an example of that. He never became president. You can't imply that he got elected but did nothing done. He wasn't elected. But you can't...
Still, politicians spun their deceptions and obstructed progress, fanning the flames of lawlessness. We all know that it is easy to criticize. It takes a true leader to solve.
Whoa!
While others criticize without solutions. President Trump's swift action saved lives.
Yeah, Bernie was the worst president. He did nothing.
Businesses closed down. Our president is leading the way for a full economic recovery. We are America. We as Americans work together to overcome challenges, write our own stories. America, land of promise, land of opportunity, land of heroes.
Ah, nice.
Land of greatness.
Guys, it doesn't matter your race, color, or creed. However, I will hire people who believe you're subhuman and want to kick you out of the country. They didn't just get Republicans for this, they got all the worst Republicans for this.
I thought I had been forgotten.
Wait, what? The fuck is this?
I nearly gave up hope.
I was so afraid.
What?
I believed I would die here.
What the fuck is going on?
American hostages. Forgotten and wasting away in far-off prisons.
What?
Wrongfully detained by foreign governments. Americans were beaten, abused, starved, and left for dead. Until President Donald Trump stepped in.
The 3 American hostages finally back on U.S. soil after being held captive in North Korea.
We're following some breaking news in Turkey where an American pastor, Andrew Brunson, has been released.
An American jailed in Egypt is back in the U.S. this morning after an intervention by the Trump administration.
This happens in literally every single presidential administration. Every presidential administration oversees the release of hostages and POWs. This happens to literally everyone.
President Trump provided a new spark of hope by bringing our hostages home.
We have Danny Birch back home where he should be. He was in Yemen in a very horrible situation. Yesterday, the United States government secured the release of Caitlin Coleman, Joshua Boyle, and their 3 children. Today, we are bringing home another American citizen. We just had news that Turkey released a prisoner that we were trying to get to the United States.
Under this administration, America has not and will not turn its back on our people. President Trump will bring them home.
Yeah, the Obama administration freed 53 people from Cuba alone
skills,
in one.
Faith, the ingredients of hope.
Yeah, in one deal alone, Obama freed 53 people from Cuba. That's just one deal that he's done. That's more than everybody added up together that's been shown in this entire video.
Hostage by various countries, and I'm very pleased
to
let everybody know that we brought back over 50 hostages from 22 different countries.
Over 50.
We worked very hard on it, Ambassador O'Brien and others. And I will tell you,
over 50 over his entire term. That's the same number as Obama did.
Maybe Pastor Brunson to say
in
a few
one
words,
deal.
so we can go through and just give us a little history of what happened and how is life treating you.
I was held in Turkey for 2 years, and you took unprecedented steps, actually, to secure my release, and your administration really fought for me. And I think if you hadn't done that, I may still be in Turkey. So I'm very grateful.
28 years, right? They had you there they had you scheduled for a long time, Andrew.
Yes.
We had to get you back. And I have to say that, to me, President Erdogan was very good. And I know they had you scheduled for a long time, and you were a very innocent person. And he ultimately, after we had a few conversations, he agreed. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate the people of Turkey. And you still appreciate the people of Turkey, I understand, right?
We love the Turkish people. We still
That's
do.
great. It's great to have you back, Andrew. Thank you. Please.
Mr. President, thank you for having me.
Thank
My
you.
name is Sam Goodwin. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I was held in Syria for 63 days, and I think I speak for my fellow former hostages and detainees here when I say I'm as grateful as I've ever been for anything to be home safely. And thank you for the invitation and opportunity to be here. Particularly, Ambassador O'Brien was incredibly supportive and helpful to my family, and can't say enough nice things about him. Thank you for promoting him.
Good.
And just really happy to be here, so thank you.
We got you back.
You got me back, yeah.
We got you all back, and we have some more that we're working on right now to get back that we better do. Please, go ahead.
Hey, remember when Saudi Arabia had that fucking journalist killed and Trump did nothing about it? Remember when North Korea killed that guy and Trump did nothing about it? Remember that? He didn't even, like, raise a stink about it? Remember when it turned out that Russia was paying the Taliban bounties on American soldiers and Trump didn't do anything about it and believed Putin over the advice of his intelligence agencies?
Sirs, you were able to get me out of that prison in record time. It was amazing.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Really
The
appreciate
honor's
it.
all mine.
Please.
Yeah, my name's Josh Holt. This is my wife, Tammy.
Yes.
We were held hostage in Venezuela for 2 years.
I know very well.
And you helped us get out. Senator Hatch worked with you very well on that as well. And it was a great
They
honor
literally
to be
just
able to
brought
meet you
these
right when we
people
got
here.
back. And I remember a lot
These
of people asked
poor
me, what was it like
veterans,
meeting President Trump?
just
And I
to
just
simp
said,
for Trump
I was
on
blown
camera.
away. I had just gotten released after 2 years.
I'm
Then
gonna go
shaking
piss.
the hand
Have
of the president
fun.
in the Oval Office. I don't really remember a whole lot of it. So it's nice to meet you again, and it's been great. It's been great to be back, helping people through situations that they've gone through, and now we have started our family.
Well, the great people of Utah really wanted me to do something about the two of you, and we were able to do it. And a little bit of a miracle, I think, frankly.
It was.
Because that was a very hostile period. And we appreciate everybody working so hard with us, but we were able to get you both back. And are you living in Utah now, I hope?
We're still living in Utah.
That's good. We'll say hello to the folks in Utah because they're great people. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please.
I'm Brian Aaron. Spent an unexpected trip there in India. I was not going to India. I was going through India to Nepal, where I've been working for the last 18 years. But on behalf of my family and myself, thank you President Trump for getting us out and getting us home. The darkest moment of our whole time together, your letter to my wife came, and it really gave her the hope and the peace. And
that's great.
From that time forward, as more people got involved, especially the ambassador there in India, things became more peaceful, and the hope was there for the last 4 months that we really would get to come home, because they had planned on keeping me for 3 to 5 years. The original charge thing was 3 to 5 years, right, and that was cleared, and then they came up with new charges to do a 7-year term.
Well, India responded very well.
Did they skip
to my
the woman?
request. So we appreciate that.
And I appreciate everything y'all did.
Thank you all for being with us. We have a few more people we want to get back, and we will get them back, and they'll be back very soon. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Great stories.
No way, they really skipped the woman? Okay.
Hello, my name is Maximo Alvarez. I live in Miami, Florida. Not far from the state of Florida.
Where's Destiny Esteban Beneblo II when you need him, okay? Because I can't say the G slur, but I know he can. We gonna get it? Talk about it. Talk about Castro.
I'll never forget my own. My family has fled totalitarianism and communism. More than once.
More than
First, my dad from Spain, then from Cuba.
There we go.
But my families don't run away. By the grace of God, I live the American dream, the greatest blessing I ever had. My dad, who only had a 6th grade education, told me, don't lose this place. You'll never be as lucky as me. I'm speaking to you today because my family is done abandoning what we rightfully earned. There's no place to hide. I'm speaking to you today because President Trump may not always be politically correct. He's in fact a successful businessman, not your average career politician. Our president is just another family man, a friend, and most important, our elected commander-in-chief who puts America first. Keep in mind, the other guy running for president is mostly concerned about power. Yes, yes, power for them, but not for the benefit of all Americans. I'm speaking to you.
I was really hoping this guy would talk about all the slaves and all the land his family lost to Castro. Damn it! I hope he goes into it. If it's just gonna be another fucking taint licking cycle, you know, with him just rambling about how Trump is good, it's fucking boring.
And I can never forget all those who grew up around me, who looked like me, who suffered and starved and died because they believed those empty promises. They swallow the communist poison pill. If you have a chance, go to the Freedom Tower in Miami.
The communist poison
Stop and listen.
pill.
You can still hear the sounds of those broken promises. It is the sound of waves in the ocean carrying families clinging to pieces of wood. Families with children who can't swim, but willing to risk everything to reach this blessed land. It is the sound of tears hitting the paper of an application to become an American citizen. Most heard and liked the promises, but soon after, they experienced the reality. Look at them, listen to them, learn the truth. Those false promises spread the wealth, free education, free health care, defund the police, trust the socialist state more than your family and your community. They don't sound radical to my ears. They sound familiar. And Fidel Castro was asked if he was a communist. He said he was a Roman Catholic. He knew he had to hide the truth. But the country I was born in is gone, totally destroyed.
Yeah, his nose whistling is pretty obnoxious. Whew.
Chicago.
Wait, did we get the pass? I wasn't paying attention. Hold on. Who gives a fuck if this is live?
The former life, I never wanted to hear again.
Oh, the nose whistle.
I see shadows. I thought I had outrun.
Now we don't have the G slur, sorry.
Portland and other cities. When I see the history being rewritten, when I hear the promises, I've heard echoes of the former life I never wanted to hear again. I see shadows. I thought I had outrun.
What is the G slur? Gusano.
My parents only wanted one person to decide my fate. Me. Not some party member, not some government official, not some bureaucrat. In America, I would decide my own future. I am so grateful to America, the place where I was able to build my American dream through hard work.
I will say this though. This guy is a dumb fuck because he's a Republican and all Republicans are dumb. However, I will say this. It is extraordinary how much more grace and tact and dignity this guy approaches his dumb fuck endorsement with than the, like, establishment Republican candidates. You know what I mean? Like, he just comes up here as like a stocky old businessman and he's just like, yeah, you know, vote Trump because you cannot. Socialism is bad, but like then the woman right before this guy was literally just running off like a fucking Goebbels, you know, speech.
1% of what I was given.
He's doing McCarthyism though. Yeah, it's
great country.
The modern era of the Republican Party.
The gift of freedom
is worse than the McCarthy era.
Right now, it is up to us to decide our fate and to choose freedom over oppression. President Trump, he's fighting the forces of anarchy and communism. And I know he will continue to do just that.
Don't push it, old man.
And what about his opponent and the rest of the DC swamp? I have no doubt they will hand the country over to those dangerous forces. You and I will decide. And here's what I've decided. My decision is very easy. I choose President Trump because I choose America. I choose freedom. I still hear my dad. There is no other place to go. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless America.
He's too old and codgerly. I can't get that worked
Democrats
out.
are just going more and more left.
Many positive about socialism, liking it more than capitalism.
Many of the ideas we fought for that were considered radical are now mainstream.
Fucking
the compromise that they came up with, if implemented, will make Biden the most progressive president since FDR.
The radical left has taken over the Democratic Party, and Joe Biden is marching in lockstep with them. Biden and the far left are promising to crush middle-class families with trillions in new taxes.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
Promising amnesty and health care for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Citizenship for 11 million undocumented folks.
Promising to shut down energy exploration, killing jobs, and hurting America's economy.
This is honestly just kind of a bop.
In Joe Biden's America, the radical...
That is no fucking way that's the full quote. There's no way Joe Biden just said we're gonna end fossil fuel and that's it.
And the Democratic Party, don't let them take over America.
No, let us.
Good evening. I'm Nikki Haley, and it's great to be back at the Republican National Convention. I'll start with a little story. It's about an American ambassador to the United Nations, and it's about a speech she gave to this convention. She called for the re-election of the Republican president she served, and she called out his Democratic opponent. a former vice president from a failed administration. That ambassador said, and I quote,
by what standard?
Democrats always blame America first. The year was 1984.
What happened to personal responsibility? Isn't that the Republican mantra? If you fuck up, it's on you. Well, if America fucks up, shouldn't that mean it's on America? Isn't that the natural extension of that belief?
Blaming America first.
That's what
Donald Trump has always put America first, and he has earned
those aren't mutually
4 more
exclusive.
years as president. It was an honor of a lifetime to serve as the United States ambassador to the United Nations. Now, the UN is not for the faint of heart. It's a place where dictators, murderers, and thieves denounce America and then put their hands out and demand that we pay their bills. Well, President Trump put an end to all of that.
No,
With his
what?
leadership, we did what Barack Obama and Joe Biden refused to do. We stood up for America, and we stood against our enemies.
What? Wait, with what?
Obama and Biden let North Korea threaten America. President Trump rejected that weakness.
Trump literally
and we passed
shook
the
hands.
toughest sanctions on North Korea in history.
He literally
Obama and
shook
Biden
hands
let
with
Iran
Kim Jong-un.
get away with murder.
And
literally sent them a plane full of cash.
No. Trump literally went and met with Kim Jong-un and shook his hand and got nothing. He got nothing. He got an informal affirmation of no more nuclear testing or missile testing from Kim Jong-un, and then he immediately backed off it. He got nothing from that. He backed off the Iran deal, which means Iran is now free to pursue nuclear armament. Additionally, he completely let Saudi Arabia cuck us by letting that journalist get killed without any sort of international condemnation. Trump is super fucking easy on dictators. Trump loves dictators. He gets along with them.
President Trump did the right thing and ripped up the Iran nuclear deal.
Yeah, North Korea made
Obama
fun
and
of
Biden
him.
led the United
like,
Nations
on
to
state
denounce
TV.
our friend and ally, Israel. President Trump moved our embassy to Jerusalem, and when the UN tried to condemn us, I was proud to cast the American veto.
Trump literally admitted the only reason he moved the capital to Jerusalem, or he approved the move of the capital to Jerusalem, is because it appeased lunatic fundamentalist Christians who believe that the capital in Jerusalem is part of their doomsday cult prophecy coming to pass. No, seriously, Trump literally, he was like, I can't help but notice it's actually the evangelicals who are excited over this, not actually the Jews. It's an Armageddon thing. The evangelicals are, it's lit. Have you guys ever seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Remember how they had to kill a bunch of people and the sacrifice was supposed to bring about the New World Order? That's literally what evangelicals believe. That the rapture will come upon a bunch of preconditions, one of which is Jerusalem and the Jews, and they'll all be sacrificed and they go to hell. And that's why he did it.
This president has a record of strength and success. The former vice president has a record of weakness and failure. Joe Biden is good for Iran and ISIS, great for communist China, and he's a godsend to everyone who wants
Trump
America
is
to
pro-China.
apologize, abstain, and abandon our values. Donald Trump takes a different approach. He's tough on China, and he took on ISIS and won. And he tells the
ISIS
world
is resurging.
What it needs
We
to
pulled out
hear.
of Syria.
At home, the president is the clear choice on jobs and the economy.
Just do
He's
it.
moved America forward, while Joe Biden has held America back. When Joe was VP, I was governor of the great state of South Carolina. We had a pretty good run. Manufacturers of all kinds flocked to our state from overseas, creating tens of thousands of American jobs. People were referring to South Carolina as the beast of the Southeast, which I loved. Everything we did happened in spite of Joe Biden and his old boss. We cut taxes, they raised them. We slashed red.
At Vaush, shouldn't we have pulled out of Syria? No, that was the Syria literally like the one thing the one singular thing we probably should have kept our troops in. We had American troops in there that were backing up Rojava and our Kurdish allies who are fighting against ISIS more effectively than any other force in the region. Because we pulled out, that gave Turkey the ability to begin to attack our Kurdish allies, which means that both of them were unable to deal with ISIS. So our presence there was essentially like stabilizing a tricky geopolitical situation. And we pulled out. In fact, the decision to pull out was so universally disliked that even Republicans criticized Trump for it.
Fracking and kill millions of jobs. They want massive tax hikes on working families. Joe Biden and the socialist left would be a disaster for our economy. But President Trump is leading a new era of opportunity. Before Communist China gave us the coronavirus, we were breaking economic records left and right. The pandemic has set us back, but not for long. President Trump brought our economy back before, and he will bring it back again. There's one more important area where our president is right. He knows that political correctness and cancel culture are dangerous.
Oh my God!
And just plain wrong.
In the halls of the RNC, we're still entertaining this horseshit.
To say that America is racist. That is a lie. America is not a racist country. This is personal for me.
Like to me, this literally just feels like, you know, like imagine if I became president, you know, and I was up there and I was like, all right, listen up, everybody. It's time to talk about the woke scolds. And just like an audience of just blank faces are before me. The woke scolds. We should be allowed to watch anime with fan service in it. Fan service can be done correctly sometimes. If you think a person is misogynistic for watching anime with fan service, maybe you have the problem. And like just the audience is just blank face, just empty. They've no idea what's happening, you know? That's what this feels like to me.
I am the proud daughter of Indian immigrants. They came to achieve and inspire, where every believer can worship without fear and every life is protected, where every girl and boy, every woman and man of every race and religion has the best shot at the best life. In this election, we must choose the only candidate who has and who will continue delivering on that vision. President Trump and Vice President Pence have my support, and America has our promise. We will build on the progress of our past and unlock the promise of our future.
Okay.
That future starts when the American people re-elect President Donald Trump. Thank you, good night, and may God always bless America.
I can't do this for 4 days, guys. I can't do this for 4 days. I'm really sorry. What is my calendar? Hold on. What's my calendar saying?
Good evening, America. I'm Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, God.
We're here tonight to talk about the great American story. To talk about this country we all love. This land of promise and opportunity, of heroes and greatness. Just a few short months ago, we were seeing the American dream become a reality for more of our citizens than ever before.
God, he looks like such a fucking
economic expansion in American
sleazeball.
history.
Look at him.
The lowest unemployment rate in nearly 50 years. The lowest unemployment rates ever for Black Americans, Hispanic Americans.
Look at him. Look at it. Look, he looks like he's
pretty much
crying.
every other demographic group.
He looks drunk. He
And
looks
then,
sweaty.
Courtesy of the Chinese Communist Party,
His facial hair
the
looks like
virus struck.
shit.
The president quickly took action and shut down travel from China.
He's sweaty.
Joe Biden and his Democrat allies called my father a racist and a xenophobe for doing it. They put political correctness ahead of the safety and security of the American people.
Yeah, like a used car
Fortunately,
salesman.
As the virus began to spread, the president acted quickly and ensured ventilators got to hospitals that needed them most. He delivered PPE to our brave frontline workers. and he rallied the mighty American private sector to tackle this new challenge. There's more work to do, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Job gains are outpacing what the so-called experts expected. But Biden's radical left-wing policies would stop our economic recovery cold. He's already talking about shutting the country down again. It's madness. Democrats claim to be for workers, but they've spent the entire pandemic trying to sneak a tax break for millionaires in Democrat states into the COVID relief bill.
What?
Then they attacked my father for suspending the payroll tax for middle-class workers. In fact, if you think about it, Joe Biden's entire economic platform seems designed to crush the working man and woman. He supported the worst trade deals in the history of the planet.
Oh, yeah, he does sound a lot like the Powerpuff Girls narrator.
Down the tubes went our auto industry. He pushed for TPP. Goodbye, manufacturing jobs.
Everything he says is so
Beijing
hollow.
Biden is so weak on China that the intelligence community recently assessed.
It's actually incredible. Like, look at him.
Party favors
Can
Biden.
Can you imagine?
He'll weaken us both economically and on
like,
the world stage.
Looking at him.
Biden also wants to bring in more illegal immigrants to take jobs from.
I'm sorry, everything these people say is exactly the same. We're not missing anything by muting him. The only thing we could get that might be positive out of listening to him talk would be him dropping the N-bomb. In which case, you'll be able to catch it on other people's clips, okay? But, like, can you imagine, like, I'm like painting a scene right now in my head. Like, where would I meet Donald Trump Jr.? Like, I feel like Donald Trump Jr. is like a middle manager who would, like, be the kind of guy who would, like, get strippers for a friend's bachelor party when his friend clearly doesn't want or need them, and do, like, lines of coke in the bathroom, and then try to hit on the daughter of one of the people who lives there, you know? That's the feeling that I get from Don Jr. Everything about this guy just radiates sleazeball. I don't think he believes anything. Everything he says is just empty and hollow, you know? Like, when I look at him, I can just see him, like, sitting somewhere in the far corner of a massive airport, his face buried in his hand. He's leaning over his knees, staring down at his suitcase and just regretting every decision that led him there. But then he stands up and there's no expression on his face, and he marches over to his plane. Just literally just everything that, like, Fight Club was about. Just, like, every like, sleazy, dishonest, juvenile, masculine trope compiled into one person.
How to get there. This time, the other party is attacking the very principles on which our nation was founded. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
I don't give a fuck about this kid. What is this?
Getting ready, guys. Don Trump Jr. here, super excited. First night of the RNC 2020. Getting amped up and ready for my speech. It's going to be awesome. Don't forget your purse. Thanks. Appreciate it. Guys, Don Trump.
Yeah. Nothing that I have just seen in any way, shape, or form contradicts the vision that I have had.
The rule of law. Thomas Jefferson famously said, "I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man." Our founders believed there was nothing more important than protecting our God-given right to think for ourselves. Now, the left, they're trying to cancel all of those founders. They don't seem to understand this important principle. In order to improve in the future, we must learn from our past, not erase it. So we're not going to tear down monuments and forget the people who built our great nation. Instead, we will learn from our past so we don't repeat any mistakes. And we will work tirelessly to improve the lives of all Americans. Joe Biden and the radical left are now coming for our freedom of speech. They want to bully us into submission. If they get their way, it will no longer be the silent majority. It will be the silenced majority. This has to stop. Freedom of expression used to be a liberal value, at least before the radical left took over. Now the Republican Party is the home of free speech, the place where anyone from any background can speak their mind, and may the best ideas win. People of faith are under attack. You're not allowed to go to church, but mass chaos in the streets gets a pass. It's almost like this election is shaping up to be church work, and school versus rioting, looting, and vandalism. Or, in the words of Biden and the Democrats, peaceful protesting.
He did the
Anarchists
meme.
have been flooding our streets.
He did the meme. Peaceful protesters. He did the meme. He did. I can't satire these people. He did the fucking meme. Is he gonna do an attack helicopter joke? This is the luminary behind America's great literary work. Triggered. Maybe he will. I should read ahead on the Lincoln leaks. Maybe he's going to throw in an attack helicopter joke.
Police officer who abuses their powers is held accountable. What happened to George Floyd is a disgrace, and if you know a police officer, you know they agree with that too.
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Of the fact that our police are American heroes. They deserve our deepest appreciation. Because no matter what the Democrats
Peaceful
say,
protesters.
You and I both know when we dial 911, we don't want it going to voicemail. So defunding the police is not an option.
911 doesn't have a voicemail.
Everything starts with safety and security. You can't have anything else without it.
Does it?
You can't focus on
I've never
building
gotten
a
to
better
voicemail
future
on
for your
911.
children without the peace of mind that they can study safely in their classrooms, play safely in their neighborhoods, and sleep safely in their beds. But safety is only the beginning. Trump's America is a land of opportunity, a place of promise. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family that could afford the best schools and the finest universities. But a great education cannot be the exclusive right of the rich and powerful. It must be accessible to all. And that's why my dad is pro-school choice. That's why he's called education access the civil rights issue, not just of our time, but of all time. It is unacceptable that too many African American and Hispanic American children are stuck in bad schools just because of their zip code.
Ah, yes, the classic
Donald
one.
Trump
The classic.
will
Why are black and brown people in such shitty neighborhoods? It's because the Democrats don't want to push for the school choice policies that would force all their parents to have to drive out 40 minutes to go to another school district. That's what they're saying. If they actually get away with passing this all school first policy, suddenly every single black mom who lives in the projects who works 3 jobs to keep the fucking lights on in her apartment is going to be blamed for her child's poor education if she's not also willing to drive an hour and a half round trip to get her kids to an elementary school in a different district. All they're doing is once again pushing the blame for poor performance onto these people. That's it.
Of our country, they'd do exactly what President Trump is doing. America is the greatest country on earth, but my father's entire worldview revolves around the idea that we can always do even better. Imagine the life you want to have. One with a great job, a beautiful home, a perfect family. You can have it. Imagine the country you want to live in.
Are we done
One
yet?
with true equal opportunity, where hard work pays off and justice is served with compassion and without partiality. You can have it. Imagine a world where the evils of communism and radical Islamic terrorism are not given a chance to spread, where heroes are celebrated and the good guys win.
Wait, what happened to
You
freedom of
can have
speech?
it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened to freedom of speech? A world where communism isn't allowed to spread? Whoa, whoa, ho, ho, ho there, buddy. I thought we were all about freedom of speech over here. Are you saying you're going to, what, lock people up for advocating for different political ideas online? You wouldn't do that, would you?
Rejecting radicals who want to drag us into the dark and embracing the man who represents a bright and beautiful future for all. It starts by re-electing Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Thank you, and God bless America.
I hope to God over the next 4 days, one of them
Catalina
see
Lauf.
Kyle's accidentally.
I work in the political space.
What?
And I'm Madeline Lauf, and I'm the founder of Beacon Health, a children's nutritional company.
What?
We grew up in a really small town outside of Chicago. Our mom's from Guatemala. Our dad's a small business owner from Chicago, and so we brought two different cultures together to create us. A little bit of crazy and a
little bit of fun, I guess. They taught us the values of hard work, liberty, to love this country.
Are they sisters or lesbians?
Our dad is a beekeeper and just had so many different things out in the countryside, and it was just such a sweet,
We
quaint.
grew up selling honey at farmers markets, so my line was, have you ever been stung by a bee? But really, it was teaching us, again, entrepreneurship, small business, self-reliance, and that we're the ones that need to put in the hard work to get what we want.
I think they're sisters.
You know, my mother
But I'm
being
not
from
confident.
Guatemala, escaping what she had there, growing
Gal
up in poverty,
pals.
and coming here to the United States, being able to.
Have you guys ever witnessed an actual IRL gal pals moment? You know what I mean? Have you ever, like, I don't know, like maybe like you mentioned some high school friends you had, and they had a relationship, and like just some obviously gay shit, and somebody, your parents or another friend, they were like, wow, they must be really good friends, you know? I remember I had a family member like that. I think it was a family member, and there was an in-law who had been roommating with, it was a woman, and she had been roommating with another woman for like 40 years. They were both like old, and the family member of mine was like, how are they ever going to get husbands, especially this old, if they just live together like that? They're like 65. Like, what? Yes. Okay.
We're really struggling, and so we were able to apply for a PPP loan, which really helped allow us to continue hiring and working and developing our product so that we could ultimately still launch.
It's now more than ever so important to.
Oh no!
Have
Wait, was that crazy Latina bitch Trump Jr.'s wife or like girlfriend? Wait, are they together? Wow. Wait, is this not her? That's fairly revealing. I mean, I don't mind. Just she was the ex-wife of Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom. Man, this all just one gigantic Ouroboros, isn't it? You know, it all wraps around. She is terrifying. She does look terrifying. Bernie's on screen.
What's really sad is the thought of, making all of us dependent on the government, and we are not going to allow that.
I've seen a lot of moderates, a lot of people now changing over because of everything that's been happening. This is a taste of Biden's America. I mean, the rioting, the crime, freedom is at stake now, and this is going to be the most important election of our lifetime. We want to preserve the America that our mother came here for. Having a thriving economy, that is keeping America great, and President Trump has delivered on that promise. He's truly fighting for the American people. We're the greatest country in the world, period. On our worst day, we're still the greatest country in the world. And in order to preserve that, it's by putting America first, having a thriving economy, having happiness.
This is my favorite meme, by the way. It's like the opposite of the "you did this, I did this" meme, you know? It's like Trump holding up his 4 years. I did this. You did this. And he hands it off to Biden, you know?
God bless you. This isn't how I pictured tonight, but our country is experiencing something none of us envisioned. From a global pandemic to the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, 2020 has tested our nation in ways we haven't seen for decades. But regardless of the challenges presented to us, every 4 years, Americans come together to vote, to share stories of what makes our nation strong and the lessons we have learned that can strengthen it for further generations. Because while this election is between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, it is not solely about Donald Trump and Joe Biden. It's about the promise of America. It's about you and me, our challenges and heartbreaks, hopes and dreams. It's about how we respond when tackling critical issues like police reform, when Democrats called our work a token effort and walked out of the room during negotiations because they wanted the issue more than they wanted a solution. Do we want a society that breeds success or a culture that cancels everything it even slightly disagrees with? I know where I stand because you see, I am living.
And I, President Vaush, am sick and tired of class reductionism. How much must we drag these petty... God help me.
Bigger things would come. I thought I had to use football to succeed in life, and my focus on academics faded away. My freshman year, I failed out. I failed 4 subjects: Spanish, English, world geography, and even civics.
Damn, you suck, bro.
Though, after 7 years in the Senate, I know I'm not the only one in Congress who failed civics. But even while I was failing the 9th grade, my mother always said to me, "Timmy, if you would just shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll be among the stars." She never lost faith in me, even when I lost faith in myself. Because of her encouragement, I went to summer school and caught up. The next year, I met my mentor, John Moniz, a Chick-fil-A operator. John saw something in me that I could not see in myself and started teaching me valuable life lessons. Like having a job would be a good thing, but creating jobs would be even better. That having an income could change my lifestyle, but creating a profit could change my community. He planted the seeds of what would become opportunity zones.
Oh man, this is what the Black Panthers said when they said they didn't want to fight white capitalism with black capitalism. Listen to that snake talk, dude. And what I realized was my profit could help the community, and that's like step 1, baby. Commodifying the deconstruction of racial apartheid right there. Whoo, baby.
For school choice, to make sure every child in every neighborhood has a quality education. I don't care if it's a public, private, charter, virtual, or a homeschool. When a parent has a choice, their kid has a better chance. And the president has fought alongside me on that. Later in life, I started my own small business. That's why I know it is critical for us to have a tax code that encourages growth. We actually saw revenues to the Treasury increase after we lowered taxes in 2017. Rest assured.
I'm bored. You know, we, because there were 2 main categories of things that are happening right here in the RNC. And they're split pretty well. You have the just standard, blatant Republican dishonesty, which we're getting right now. You know, he'll misrepresent information, he'll selectively present statistics, it's, you know, that kind of stuff. And then you have the insane, outright, out and about fascism, and that's what I'm really, really interested in, because Republican lying, I mean, it's not that new and fresh, you know. It's not too crazy. But the pull towards open fascistic rhetoric is definitely something new. Shoe on head, I value your opinion. Are you still here? How do you feel? Is this terrifying? I'll admit, I am concerned. Apparently, Kanye is playing Risk of Rain 2. So says Steam.
But I thank God Almighty We are not where we used to be. We are always striving to be better. When we stumble, and we will, we pick ourselves back up and try again. We don't give in to cancel culture or the radical and factually baseless belief that things are worse today than in the 1860s or the 1960s. We have work to do, but I believe in the goodness of America, the promise that all men and all women are created equal. And if you're watching tonight, I'm betting you do too. Over the past 4 years, we have made tremendous progress towards that promise. President Trump built the most inclusive economy ever. 7 million jobs created pre-COVID-19, and 2/3 of them went to women, African Americans, and Hispanics. The first new major effort to...
I do want to point out, just to be a cunt on my end, that describing the rise of fascism as like the movie The Purge feels like somebody saying like, I feel like Katniss Everdeen. I feel like Katniss Everdeen right now. This is just like the first Mockingbird book, the Mockingbird book. The way the leaders are bad, you know, like or really shifting this into media consciousness.
Off for it. So I'm going to ask you, the American people, not to simply look at what the candidates say.
When Dolores Umbridge
at what they've done.
Spoke at Hogwarts.
This election is about your future.
I bled with
and it
Harry.
It's critical to paint a full picture of the records of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden said if a black man didn't vote for him, he wasn't truly black. Joe Biden said black people are a monolithic community. It was Joe Biden who said poor kids can be just as smart as white kids.
Black people do have the most collective block of voters.
Are one thing. His actions take it to a
8%.
Whole new level.
8%.
In 1994, Biden led the charge on a crime bill that put millions of black Americans behind bars. President Trump's criminal justice reform law fixed many of the disparities Biden created and made our system more fair and just for all Americans. Joe Biden also failed our nation's historically black colleges and universities, heaping blame on them as they fought to ensure our young folks had access to higher education. Once again, to clean up Joe Biden's mess, President Trump signed into law historically high funding for HBCUs, as well as a bill to give them permanent funding.
By the way, I love the fact that Trump supporters are like fawning over the historically black college thing, because I know for a fact that if a Democrat had done the same and was talking about the same, all the Republicans would be talking about reverse racism and how it's racist for them to give money to the to black colleges specifically. And this is just like affirmative action, and why not historically white colleges, and so on and so forth. But because Trump did it, it's excellent, and it's reverse id poll, and they're owning the libs, you know?
For single moms, working families, and those in need. So when it comes to what Joe Biden says he'll do, look at his actions. Look at his policies. Look at what he already did and what he didn't do while he's been in Washington for 47 years. Ladies and gentlemen, people don't always see those failures because they think we're having a policy debate on two sides of an issue. That is not what is happening. Our side is working on policy, while Joe Biden's radical Democrats are trying to permanently transform what it
2020
means
pointers
to be
we went over
an
before this
American.
began?
Make no mistake, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris want a cultural revolution, a fundamentally different America. If we let them, they will turn our country into a socialist utopia. And history has taught us that path only leads to pain and misery, especially for hardworking people hoping to rise. Instead, we must focus on the promise of the American journey. I know that journey well. My grandfather's 99th birthday would have been tomorrow. Growing up, he had to cross the street if a white person was coming. He suffered the indignity of being forced out of school as
I bet you still have to do that at GOP events, not gonna lie.
To read or write. Yet, he lived long enough to see his grandson become the first African American to be elected to both the United States House and the United States Senate in the history of this country. Our family went from cotton to Congress in one lifetime.
Uh-oh.
And that's why I believe the next American century can be better than the last. There are millions of families just like mine all across this nation, full of potential, seeking to live the American dream. And I'm here tonight to tell you that supporting the Republican ticket gives you the best chance of making that dream a reality. God bless you. And Father, please continue blessing the United States of America. God bless.
Father Trump. Is that the last segment for this? Is that the last segment for today? Because I think the thing ends at 8. And I'm even behind the main stream by about a minute, which would mean that... the Latina girl dated a Nazi? Hey, now we know where she got that rhetoric from. Go team, we made it through. Wow, that was fucking excruciating. Like every moment of that was wow. Like literally, does this not just seem like parody? Like a woman gets up there and just recites something that sounds virtually identical to a Nazi speech, and it turns out that yet not only is she the girlfriend of the son of the president, but she actually used to date a neo-Nazi. That's pretty on point there, isn't it? She's the one that freaked out at the Nick Fuentes Nazi groypers that were at Donald Trump Jr.'s book signing. Wait, freaked out at or freaked out over? Hold on.
I have a question.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Debate Nick
That even the furthest leftists on a college campus. Right? It doesn't happen that way. We're willing to listen. Q&A!
You guys fucking suck, by the way. How many subscribers did Nick Fuentes have when he got banned from YouTube? Like 100,000? I have double that now. Why the fuck aren't I mobilizing you guys to go harass political figures at events? Why aren't I mobilizing you guys? Imagine yelling debate Vaush at a Biden rally. Oh my god, that would be so fucking funny, dude. That would be great publicity for me, by the way. Not that I'm saying you should do that. I'm just saying If any of you did do that at a you know, a Democrat political rally, it would be very funny. You know, the news reports on that would not be charitable to me, by the way. You know, and in other news, you know, local Democrats rally interrupted by a degenerate gang of purple-haired losers called for them to, quote, debate Vaush, known pedophile, on something called dialectical maternalism. Of course, the fans of this online figure were roundly arrested and beaten to death in their cages. All right. Yeah, so we'll avoid that maybe. All right, folks. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If I'm going to be suffering through this bullshit, I'm going to need you to make it worth my fucking while. I'm going over donos, okay? And I don't want to stop for a while. I'm doing it. I'm turning into the monster. The Omni streamer who consumes. Can we go back to YouTube now? No. We're going over donos. Thank you very much. Let's get it going hot. Let's get it going here. HTTP Lovecraft with the incredibly kind $20. Why do you play these games in such high volume compared to you and TTS? Could barely hear shit during Fall Guys. This is loud too. HTTP Lovecraft. I'm not particularly good at audio balancing. I only have like these little, you know, the little bars, the green, yellow, red bars next to me, but they're a little abstract sometimes. So, yeah. Comrade Courtney with the gift the tier 1 sub. Thank you to all from MA watching. Please vote Ed Markey for Senate. Fucking true. Gotta get Eddie boy. Oh, I thought you would have linked me something on Ed Markey, but instead you linked me like find my election information. Well, that's good too. That's good too. Why do you get more viewers on DLive? Well, it's a special event. It's a special event. Yeah, the DLive stream is super fucking lazy. Oh, I'm sorry I'm not providing you enough entertainment. My apologies. I'm sorry. All right. I'll be a better entertainer next time. Jesus Christ, you people. Sake Tanuki with a very kind $20. Wait, we're not going to sacrifice Ben Simpiro to the WAP gods to end fascism? No, that's on day 4, comrade. Minus everything with $10. Why are you wearing the same shirt? Because it's the same day as the earlier stream, which was also today. So I wore the same shirt because it's the same day. Minus everything with the $10. No, but it's ruining my immersion. Ah, so noted, comrade. My apologies. I'll switch it up next time. Banjo with the $4. Is milking my disability for memes to get TikTok famous, then preaching socialism praxis? Yes. Also, how tiring is streaming for you? Much love, comrade. Tiring is very streaming for me. As you can see, streaming is very tiring for me. In large part because I'm always talking. I don't have a co-host. I don't have a script, which means that I'm constantly scrambling to find ways to entertain all of you. And doing that for 4 to 5 hours actually is legitimately quite tiring. I don't do like the whole 12-hour day thing, but like I'll take breaks and eat and like just watch something silently. I treat it like a show, you know, while you're here, you're under my care, I try to take care of you with entertainment. Daisy Faye with very kind tier 4 sub. I need a PP name and I love you. There you go, comrade. PP name delivered. Hope you enjoy. Pansagi, thank you so much for the $5. I did see the Bad Empanada video. I'll be working on it soon. Billy Drillkill with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Yes, non-binary furry gang rise up. Anger Gato with a very kind $10. First time catching you live. Good. Glad to after watching a lot of your YouTube videos. Really sorry to hear you're catching it first on a DLive stream. I promise you, normally my live stream chat is a lot better than that. UK Marxism DLC failed with a very kind £5. Did you see Tim Pool listing Trump's second term agenda points and agreeing with 90%? It's in the content suggestions on Discord. No, but that makes sense to me. I mean, Tim Pool is a fucking idiot and his only job is to appeal to conservatives, so why would he criticize them, you know? Minty Good, thanks the $5. Happy to hear you enjoy the interview, comrade. Yeah, I think it got handled pretty decent. Jellyfish Den with what's up? Thank you very much. Likewise with Trade T. Appreciate that very much from both of you, comrade. The Jellyfish Addenda, if you're struggling for money, please don't donate to me. Don't make me feel bad like that, comrade. Take care of yourself, okay? Pessimist with a tier 3 sub. Lincoln Project is pretty dumb, but I'll tolerate it because it's actively splitting the Republican vote. Oh yeah, I mean, they're useful idiots to our, high-tier Marxist agenda, so they're useful in that respect. TJ Gamer 97 real with the $10. Say no to fascism, vote Joe Biden. Fucking true, comrade. Dumb Bunny with the $5. Implication of Trump's platform is using federal budget to punish states, just like how feds set drinking age to 21 and states lose money if they don't comply. Yeah. I mean, it's a viable way of, working over states, so it's kind of an anti-states' rights take, but it's definitely a viable thing you can do if you're interested in exercising executive authority. JT Amazing, the convention makes my skin crawl too. Thanks to the tier 1 sub. And likewise with you, Ido All. Sir Doug, with a very kind $5. Love to get your take on this.
The bickering...
The termination of Leafy is here. Is this... You linked me to a timestamp. Is there something...
Doesn't matter that much. The real question I want to ask today is if Leafy is here had a right to exist. If you personally don't like Leafy is here, that is perfectly understandable. But just because something at this moment in time is detested, does that mean it should be terminated?
No, because something is disliked doesn't necessarily mean it should be terminated. But Leafy would... Leafy, his entire channel was dedicated to harassment and brigading. He would sick literally hundreds of thousands of fans to these people's social media pages, and he would even entertain people who were making death threats. Like when people on Twitter are saying somebody should kill Pokimane, and Jesus Christ, and Leafy is there saying you should use an AK-47, like some kind of fucking idiot 14-year-old. Like at that point, I think you lose any credibility you might get or any benefit of the doubt you might get with regards to being like a sort of disaffected like commentary channel, like his channel was obviously in violation of the TOS. If the TOS precludes that, then there you go. Very true, Derek. Sneaky Wakiki with a very kind $5. Having a guest that's smart enough to say I don't really have the answers was a nice change of pace. That was a great segment. Thank you. Yeah. Phil, I think, was a really excellent guy to have on. Sake with a very kind $20. Isn't Trump standing with children one of the reasons he shouldn't be president? Ha! True! And one of the problems with Trump, he stood with too many children and perhaps a little bit too close to those children. And perhaps either he or the child was not necessarily standing. Epstein. Theropunk with tier 1 sub. Thank you. Have some baby pics. I love baby pics. Baby. Baby. Ooh, baby. 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 True. Very true. Rye Guy and Orson Zed, thank you so much for the $5 donations, respectively. Orson Zed, I'm very sorry about how DLive works. It's a shit site, but I'm a shit boy. What are you going to do? Nick Nitro, thanks to $5. Sake Tanuki with the incredibly kind $20. Thank you. You've been very generous tonight. They say from all 50 states, but show the unincorporated island territory simultaneously giving ridiculous representation and lying. Did they? I actually missed that. Oh, shit. 51 states confirmed POG. I guess Trump actually is out there working for the little guy. Rockstar Miota with a tier 1 sub who linked 4 images. My God. Babies then, babies now, silly bonuses. All right, Rockstar Miota. All right, so far this is delightful. Baby. Babies then. Baby. Babies now. Ooh, look at them lick. Look at them licky. Additional baby. 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 Look, meow. What a nice cat tree. So tall. Little baby. We need to get Artemy one of these, like a little swing, not a swing, a little like a sling or hammock or something like that he can tumble around in. Very good babies. Artemy has been a little bit mopey lately. I think that's because he really, really, really wants to play with Pigeon, the hairless cat, but he can't because we have to keep her locked up in our bedroom for a while she grows a little older, gets more used to the place, that sort of thing. And Sake with the incredibly kind additional $20. Also, the feeling you when you stretch out to island territories with huge military bases because you can't get 100 people in 50 states. Yeah, well, I mean, however diverse you're going to make it, right? That, funnily enough, I feel like the RNC convention, the RNC actually had more id poll than the DNC, you know? People talk about how the left is obsessed with it, but my fucking God, the Republicans are just obsessed, absolutely obsessed with cynically invoking id poll. Lucky Axolotl with the $5. Lol, my dad did coke with Kimberly back in the day. Based. The mixed bag of what with the 501. Thank you, comrade. Really happy to hear you enjoy the stream, and I hope your dyed hair is looking good. TJ Gamer 97 for real with the $10. This guy sounds like a mobster from the 50s. Yes, he did. Yeah, the New York guy with the dead daughter. Reza Sutro with the gifted tier 1 sub to Shoe On Head. How nice. Now Shoe On Head can use all the cool kid emotes. Zayo with the tier 1 sub, the real G-word is gamer. True Smushy with the tier 1 sub. Vaush, you liar, you said the non-subs could get Peepo run, but you never let us. I've been left with no choice but to sub trans rights. You have uncovered my trick. You have uncovered my deception. Nicely done, comrade. I'll add it soon. I just keep forgetting. Salt and Sea with a very kind $10. Thanks for covering this. This convention was deeply and scarily fascistic. I couldn't watch on my own. Yeah, there's not much point in watching it on your own unless you wouldn't feel a deep sense of despair about the state of affairs in this country. Dalton Cash, the $5. Thank you, comrade. Yes, Nikki Haley does look a little bit like Tulsi Gabbard. And none of the fun with the $5. The cow says moo, the cat says meow, the dog says Ed word. Very nice. Good. Good reference, comrade. I guess I made the reference first. Sean for President, the $10. Love you, comrade. Don't make me watch this fascist convention alone. Keep up the great work. We'll see. And Sake with the additional, incredibly kind $20. Every Candace/Peter memes black supporter. Trump wants to take black people off the mental plantations and get them back to the physical plantations. Yeah, that is the Republican black token line, you know? No longer will we be kept under ideological constraint by the Democrat Party. Instead, we will just go back to slavery. We will go right back to slavery. I bet, I really do think that probably about like 20 to 30% of the Republicans would be okay with slavery again. I really do believe that. I genuinely believe that. Yeah. You can tell me it's hyperbolic, but you're wrong. It's true. What are you all spamming? Just the guy with the name? Jesus, fuck. Gets distracted so easily. Charlemagne with the $5. This is destroying my fucking brain. You can stop anytime, Vaush. You don't need to destroy your brain over bullshit like this. My brain is already gone, comrade. I'm just here for the ride. Thank you. Derek with the $5. You should take a page from the Chapo stream. Oh wait, this cut off. You should take a page from the Chapo stream and get some friends on stream with you to watch the RNC. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Italia Reigns, the $15. Vic Berger is going to have a fucking field day. Yeah, probably. I don't know what you mean. I'm going to Google Vic Berger. Why does that sound so familiar to me? Oh, yeah, the YouTube channel. Yeah. My brain is fried. Why am I here with the incredibly kind $20? Here, Vaush, I feel your pain. Hope this $20 can ease your suffering somewhat. Thank you. It does, actually. I have a unique medical condition where physical and mental injuries to my person can actually be alleviated with almost magically with money. Not even through paying for treatment, just with money. It's a very rare condition, but it is what it is. So I'm just trying to live that out. I'm living my best life under these conditions. Yeah, you guys get me. Hold on 1 second. Wasn't that a South Park episode plot? I don't fucking know. Yeah, fine. All right. Oh, wait, Shu and Head, are you still here? Oh, yeah, Shu. Do I have something booked for tomorrow? We have so many things booked. We have so many conversations. Shu, if I don't have anything booked for tomorrow, do you want to come on and co-narrate, talk about the fucking RNC? It would help me tremendously. No fancy political commentary, just we can riff. It's not much to say, really. I mean, we know everything they're saying is dishonest. Vaush, you should cover the Sargon thing. I'll cover it tomorrow. I want to come on. Hyena, can you do the yeah, we can, yeah. Hyena and Shu, we can have you both on. Or alternatively, I don't care. I don't care. We'll talk. I talk. I have, as it so happens, both of you followed on Twitter, so we can DM each other. It's very easy. Anyway, your dad never loved you with $10. What's the deal with the job you're looking to hire for? Also, how did the St. Louis gun people do? I missed it. Trans rights. The St. Louis gun people basically just said the same thing the rest of them said, which was that Obama will destroy America. Okay, but however, as for the job that I was looking to hire people for, I may have found a candidate. I got some applications that were a little bit preliminary because they were preemptive, a little bit sort of how you might say premature ejaculation. I got some of those, and I've looked over them. However, it turns out there was a person who I already knew who is exceptionally qualified. So I'm going to talk some more with her, and we'll see how that develops. We're going premium, baby. We're getting ourselves a content manager. We're going to have people taking my content out to the other websites I don't have time to manage. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, maybe even podcast stuff, you know? Turning the videos and the streams into audio bits and putting them on a podcast site so you can listen to them just running around. We'll get that. I still edit all my own videos on the actual YouTube. The YouTubes, you know? We'll see. Has Shewan had ever apologized for calling Leslie Jones a gorilla? Evil Eye, I'll tell you this. Evil Eye, you're a fan of mine. You know how sometimes you'll say, I'm a Vaush fan, someone will be like, oh, that transphobic pedophile? When you bring up the Leslie Jones thing, that's like that times 8. It would be like that times 8. It would be like, imagine it like so much further in the past and so addressed so many more times, and it would be like that. Now, if you want to call Shewan Head a racist, you still can, because Shewan Head is white, racist by default. Sorry, lost the skin color lottery. So you can still call her racist, but I'm just saying it's been an addressed subject. Mizuki with the tier 1 sub. Here's a different tweet with a video that was trying to show earlier. Oh. Yeah. I saw this one. Yeah, this one. The Lady Liberty is so fucking cringe. Look, there's like a BLM thing on the road, and she dresses up kind of like the Statue of Liberty, and she runs out with red paint, and she like, it's like a kink thing. This is like a kink thing, right? Like, I assume, look at all the people around, like, photographing, like, oh, it's such a media event, you know? Like, no one else is here. But it's just like,
Take the mask off!
She was arrested. M7 with the $2. Thank you, comrade. The inner workings of the woke school leftist. What? Wait. This is so involved. Holy shit. Man with hipster hair, pretentious assholes who make everything about them and their stupid interests. That is true. Edgy brain. People make edgy jokes are infuriating. Smuggle right dipshits think they're clever. It's just... Rich, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fucking true, though. This one's good. I can't post this one on Twitter. This one's too edgy. You guys can. Not that you should if you don't want to. But you guys can. If you want to. Liberius, thank you very much for the $5. I'm very familiar with those subreddits, Sappho and her friend and Sappho and her comrade. I am very familiar with both of them. They are very funny, and true, very true and funny. John for Perez, the $10. Keep up the great work. Been loving your content, whether you cover this or not. Gotcha, comrade. Thank you. Seriously, I have to go see you guys tomorrow for Dystopia. Yes, I have a good one, Shu. And sat in my dorm with you once up. Have you seen this yet? And Republicans do support slavery, since they have no problem with the prison-industrial complex. True. Well, that's a lot of Dems too. What is this? What is this? Oh yeah, I saw this. Somebody in chat linked me to this a little while ago. When you gave me a TikTok link, you know what I thought it was going to be? Have you guys seen the Holocaust TikToks where it's like they do the song and it's like, in heaven you look the way you did when you died, and it's like, oh, the little like a girl with like makeup to make her look all like beaten up is like, oh, I died in the Holocaust. You know what I'm talking about? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Wait, hold on. This can be what we end on. Okay, this is a good finisher. Hold on. I think I liked a tweet that was on this recently. I think Big Joel recently tweeted out. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is really good. I've been locked out of heaven. Vaush, copyright? We're not on YouTube. Yeah, it's like, the funny thing is, these aren't like edgy alt-writers trying to downplay the Holocaust. It's just incredibly cringy teenagers who are like, oh man, oh, that one's pretty rough. Like it's actually sincere. It's just indistinguishable from a shitpost. Like, look at this shit. They like this song. A lot of them can't spell. Look at that. You've served your purpose. What is this? Garrod. Served. Okay, one more. It's this song! What the fuck? She died! Wait. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. This please, President and Commander-in-Chief Trump, please do follow through on your promise to ban TikTok. If the remaining 3 months is not enough to do it, I will happily support you in your 2020 presidential campaign to ensure that you have the time you need to rid us of this foul and insidious social media platform. All right. Oh god. I shouldn't watch this on DLive because I know there are alt-writers watching right now who are probably like laughing for the wrong reasons. They're laughing with the kids, you know. They're like, yeah, make the jokes. All right, well anyway, I love you all very much. You're beautiful people. You're virile, your genitalia are engorged to an impressive and frankly concerning extent. I love each and every one of you. Obviously, none of that applies if you're underage. If you're underage, the only feeling I have for you is that you should focus on your schoolwork, because learning how to concentrate on stuff that's not super fun can be really rewarding in the long run. Love you all very much. Have yourselves a good one. I'll see you all soon.